planet? Is Janet from another 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 planet?
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Friday Night Shit Show. And I'd like to say thank you to Ruben and Rex for joining me tonight.
Hello.
I'm waiting still for Bruce if he decides to show up. Something might have come up. I don't know. But Tommy sent me a message and said that his power was out.
Ooh.
So I was like, darn. But I told him, thank you for telling me, and I really appreciated it. But I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Oh, as always, hi, Jackie. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know you can't stay as long, but I
Don't
appreciate
bring me
it.
down, Bruce.
Yep. And so hello, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate it. And just want to click on everybody as I go down the list here real quick. Yeah. Tonight, I just, it just seems like there's so much bullshit still going on. You know what I mean? Even though we're getting more and more facts coming out, nothing's been done yet. I mean, just like I said, I'm going to start complaining by the end of the year if, we're not hearing anything. The only one we've seen that was indicted was Comey, and we've seen what happened with that, and nothing else has happened since. So you'd think that somehow, they would have whipped it all in shape and resubmitted the stuff. But I don't know, it's just kind of weird the way things are unfolding. And now all this stuff that's going on with Venezuela. So, I just really don't know. I just don't know what to say. But just want to say thank you to everybody for showing up. So do any of you want to add anything before we get started?
I know what to say. There needs to be some people go to prison, go to jail. It's a real.
You got to go to jail. You got to go to trial first.
Well, right. If this doesn't happen, we're in pretty poor shape, as a nation. I think a lot of American people are going to yell foul, cover up. And that's
I think it's going to hurt us in 2026 if somebody isn't already lined up. You know what I mean?
The way it's set up, you got to show progress, with what you do, or the American people are going to not be happy come midterms.
Mm-hmm.
And
those
that vote, right? That's sad. We've got to get the vote out too. We've got to do better in that regards.
I rarely vote during the midterms. There's no point.
That's
I guess
I think people should be making phone calls to their governors and to their state representatives, their congressmen, their senators, everyone, and saying, get off your ass and put the judges in place. When we had that whole break, all they did was show up and hit the gavel so that Trump couldn't do anything, couldn't appoint people because they were on recess or whatever. They didn't want him to put any people in. Why? It seems like they're more against Trump than they are for Trump. But I wanted to start off with something.
Well, they're.
Go ahead.
Who are you talking about there when you make that comment? Are you talking the left? Are you talking both sides?
About all the rhinos. They're not doing their job.
The rhinos, okay.
Putting
Republicans in name only. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right, rhinos.
Yeah, you got not just the judges, but all his appointees. We know the left is going to drag their feet on every appointment. They've been doing it, and how you apply more pressure for them to stop, they're so anti-Trump that they're like a plow, and you just got to push on through, somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
I don't think I'm gonna make it tonight. Ugh.
Oh, you're already getting worn down.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, but thank you for stopping in and hanging out with me for a little bit.
Yeah. Just they already know what I'm writing about. Just send that out there to everybody, and then.
Let me share that real quick. Let me grab this. This is information for Ruben. This is his Substack and his X. And so, because he's on his phone tonight too, so he's been popping in and out.
Yeah, I'm feeling too good.
I had to make a Substack or a link tree too.
They put me on morphine, and
I know.
Still in pain.
Oh.
But thank you, Ruben. I really appreciate you. Stopping in for a little bit.
But what I'm doing there is basically, thank you, Merry Christmas. Yes, it's basically this. It's love algebra. It's all about love. Love is the answer. That's the whole thing. And Janet knows me from the very beginning. That's what it's all about. Because I always thought as a child, it says God is love. God is love, and I went, okay, well, that's simple enough. I'll take that. And I took that, and then I made this, or I discovered this, and I want to share the world. So that's why the Substack's going to do this, and a lot's coming out. And a lot of things that people have been talking about, even on like Forbidden Frontier with Gary and with Garrett, and with all the weird stuff, about black holes and universe and all this stuff is out there. And I have all the keys information now. So a lot of things have been coming published very, very soon. Science, quantum mechanics, astrophysics, things I love, and books of all math, and books language of love. You gotta be the love doctor. So good night, everybody. I'll take care, and I'll talk to you all later.
Feel better,
Okay.
Ruben.
Yes,
See you
thank Take
later.
care. Bye.
Bye. This takes time and patience, so to heal. So yeah. But I wanted to start off with something funny. It's kind of sad, really, but it's true. So this I found this. It came across my timeline. I thought it was really good. It's 1995 versus 2025 in men's fashion. Through Gucci. So I was going to share this because I just want you guys to see how far we've come. So I hope you guys are ready. This is great.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to hear it. Sorry, I don't want to get in trouble, but just watch this guy. It's terrible. I mean, they look pretty good. The hair is long because that was big in the 90s, and the not long jackets, but look at them. They look like handsome men, still young, handsome men. They walk like men. And then we got this. This is what all of a sudden, this is considered today's men. This is what men are supposed to dress like. For the fashion, and then it looks like they're wearing makeup, lipstick, and all that stuff, and they just look.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, but that's the difference.
They look like
just
dour, non-neutered. Get out of here with that crap.
It's terrible. It's really sad. So I can see why.
I don't think that's mainstream, but.
Well, it's fashion, and they always made it a little more pizzazzy and stuff to wear on the runways and, in Hollywood.
I could go in there and get a garbage bag and wear it. That'd be about the same. I've seen that on the walkway too, Janet.
But what's really sad is when you see all these Hollywood actors going to these, events and stuff wearing shit like that. And we're just supposed to think, okay, well, that's normal. But I'm telling you right now, half the stuff I see some of the women wear, I wouldn't even wear. Look at me, I'm wearing a Socialism Sucks t-shirt.
60 years old here, and I've got enough T-cells for all of you. Okay, forget all that crap.
T-shirts are nice. I really like them. I mean, they're very versatile. See, like me, I'm chilly, so I put a little long sleeve shirt underneath it because I'm kind of cold in my office. And but I just wanted to share that because I was like, wow, you don't realize how much the difference is until you put them side by side and start looking at it, and you're like, good grief, we've dropped a long way. I think it's hilarious. But let's see. I think, here's
what's been most upsetting to me during the pandemic and afterwards. Seeing that it's not just America, but it's global. This mind trying, this this globalism. I mean, it's not just our country, and in fact, it's worse in some countries. Like the crackdown in Australia and people that can't defend themselves. In other countries because they're not armed like we are. Thank God we had the Second Amendment. And can protect ourselves somewhat,
Yeah, and honestly, think about it. We're the youngest country in the world, and look how powerful we are because of our diversity, because of all the cultures that came here wanting to be free and working together to have freedom. And now it seems like we're just letting everybody in, and they're just diluting our freedom.
Just a few days ago, Janet, was the celebration of D-Day. 80 plus years of the sacrifice. And when you look at some of those photos of World War II and what those young men and women had to go through in the world, and never seen anything like that on a scale. And hopefully they never will again, except at Megiddo. It's enlightening. We should not take anything for granted. Every day is a blessing.
Yeah, that's how I look at it. I love this country. I have lived in a couple other countries, and I lived in the Philippines for a little bit of my life.
That's only because you were a brat at the time.
Yeah, I was an Air Force brat. But the thing is, I got to go off base and spend the weekend in a Nipa hut, with our maid, because we had a girl that made clothes for us, and we had a young woman that cleaned our house. And my mother just loved it because never thought she'd ever be able to afford to have someone help her, clean house. And she had just had my little sister. So she had a new baby, and my dad was gone all the time, traveling and stuff. So getting to see how they lived with nothing, basically. They didn't even have beds. They had like woven palm fronds and made like hammocks and stuff. And they were hanging from the ceiling. So it's just such a different lifestyle for these people. And then once they start, going to college or whatever and trying to get careers of their own, they slowly move up. But most people are like, I know people still that live in homes here in Arkansas that don't even have electricity. So, and they have outhouses and stuff. A lot of people can't believe that, but guess what? They got a cell phone. It's shocking how.
It may be one of those thin Obama phones that are paper crap, but hey, well, our money paid for all that.
Mm-hmm. But I wanted to start out another thing with this gentleman because this was some really important information. I brought it up a few times about being careful when you take an Uber, not drinking any drinks from the Uber driver. Don't ever, accept a drink or drink it. Even men or women, because you don't know these people. They're just showing up supposedly to give you a drive somewhere. So, just, be careful. But I wanted you to listen to this gentleman for the men and women, because this can also happen to men. Okay. Men think, oh, yeah, whatever. It can happen to men too. So here we go.
Absolutely. So this lady goes on a date with this guy. Date apparently went very well. At the end of the date, they decided to part ways. She goes to her apartment. He goes to wherever he lives. A little while later, the girl gets a call from the guy and says, hey, I don't have my keys and my roommate's not answering his phone calls. I don't have anywhere to stay. Can I stay with you tonight? She says yes. Keep in mind, she doesn't really know this guy. They just went on their first date. So she makes him a bed on the couch and tells him that's where he's going to be sleeping. And they hang out for a little while. She starts to get tired. She decides, hey, I'm going to go to bed. She goes in her room. She locks the door. A few hours go by and the guy knocks on her door and says, hey, my phone's dying or it's dead and I don't have a charger. Do you have a charger that I could use? There should be one in the kitchen on the kitchen counter. He goes back to bed. She never leaves her bedroom. A few minutes later, the guy comes knocking on her door again and says, hey, this charger's not working. Do you happen to have one in your bedroom? Girl's intuition kicks in and she decides she's going to call the police. Again, never leaving her bedroom. A few minutes pass. The police knock on the door. The guy opens up the door. There's some ruckus going on in the living room. The girl is still in her bedroom. Later on, the police come and knock on the door after they arrest the guy. Says, hey, everything's okay. Can you please come out and check out the conditions of your living room? This man done put plastic everywhere in the living room and had a toolbox full of medical surgical supplies, like some Dexter type. Ladies, be careful out there. Don't trust these men. Not, and men too, but do not trust these men. If you don't know them, don't allow them into your home. Do not. His grown ass men should not be calling you, asking you if they could stay with you. If he don't have anywhere else to go, that's a red flag. That is 100% a red flag. Y'all stay safe out there. Like, follow, and share. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. That's crazy.
That was pretty scary if you think about it. But
Yeah,
you're not going to see this on the regular news.
There are rescue missions out there, Janet. I mean, somewhere, that people can be referred to. And like you said, grown ass men, you're responsible for yourself.
If some guy had called me and said that, I would say, I'm sorry. I won't open my house to a stranger. I don't know you, and I know I can't. I'm sorry. Right. Maybe you should get a hotel or sleep in your car. I have done that before. I had to sleep in my car on a roadside park. It was scary, but I was exhausted, and I'd rather risk sleeping in the park than crashing on the road. So,
I've worked at several rescue missions, and there's usually a rescue mission around, somewhere, and you need to know that anyway to be able to refer people to those places when they need a place.
Yeah. Well,
Just out of
yeah.
common charity and
I've never
decency.
been in that situation yet, but I have, given the number to the halfway house for men, and then for the women, the battered women's shelter usually, because
Yep, we got a battered women's shelter.
that's
Yep.
why they need somewhere to stay. So, but
Mhm.
yeah, I just wanted to share that because I think it's important that we see, you know through things like that, and try not to be so kind-hearted and think, oh, that everybody's just like you, because they aren't. And just
I
because you're
actually
dating pretty good
I
doesn't
actually
mean
had
that
a friend that was married, and I knew her, and she trusted me enough, and plus had 3 young children with her, and a bloody lip, where her and her husband had gotten in an altercation, and says, "Can we
Mhm.
can stay with you tonight?" And it's like, "Yes, here's the bedroom, and I'll take the lazy boy." And I've still got that lazy boy. In fact, I just got done sitting in it. So
Mhm. Well, that's a little bit different. That's why I said you
it's
have to
different.
adjust for the situation. Especially though, I can tell you right now, if I have my child in my car, I will not pick up another person. And I usually don't pick up people. I just
Yeah,
say, I'll call someone for you,
yeah.
and
It's
I
it's
get on the phone and I'll call. I don't hand them my phone either. That's another thing.
there.
Never do that.
Societies are society has changed. It really has. Of course, uh, hopefully we've gotten a little smarter and a little, where we can use some common sense and discretion and critical thinking, right? That's kind of at a premium, and it seems like we're just delving it out a little here, a little there. But society's, been dumbed down, but maybe we're a little bit more savvy, hopefully.
Mhm.
But there's some stupidity out there too, and yeah. And I'm glad you and I were born when we were born, Janet, and when
Well, I'm just
society
glad.
was somewhat sane.
Yeah, I'm just glad that I had the parents that I had. I was very lucky to have
Hmm.
the mother I had, because she basically raised all 5 of us kids most of the time by herself. So, it's just different. And we had to do chores, and we were expected to do certain things. And now
Yeah.
you have like football players that don't even want to play because they didn't make the playoffs, so they won't play in any more games and stuff like that. That's what happens when you just hand everyone a trophy just because they attended school, things like that. Uh,
Participation award. Yeah.
yeah, it's ridiculous how bad it's gotten. So what's sad is, if you have a job and you show up for work, but somebody says something about your hair or your outfit or something, and you're a waiter, and then you just say, screw this, and you just leave, how long do you think you're going to have that job? How many jobs are you going to be able to have when you just leave, when you get your feelings hurt or it's not going the way you wanted? It's different than being sick. You know what I mean? So my mother even told us girls, just because you have cramps, you're still going to go to work. So,
Yeah.
that's a fact of life, and you can't just quit because you don't feel good today. Now, if you're
Yeah.
sick
And
and throwing up,
you
that's
know,
one thing.
it is different for like a woman than it is
Mhm.
a man in society. It really is. I think women even need to be more guarded, but like you say, it goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
men
I mean,
men
there are evil women out
everybody's
there,
at
people.
risk. Everybody's at risk, but I think women a little bit more,
Well, yeah, because you got to remember, what was her name? Eileen Warnos or whatever, the first woman executed in Florida because she was a serial killer. She killed men. So it does happen. It's rare, but
Oh
just
yeah.
because you are you does not mean that you're not vulnerable to being killed by someone, especially if they put something in your food. And if you're just willing to eat anything or drink anything from anyone, then you're putting yourself at risk. It's not worth it. But this is very interesting because Glenn Beck has been very outspoken about bringing up information, for lots of different things, laying things out, trying to explain things and how things go together. And so I thought this was interesting because he's just about at his wit's end. It sounds like a few people are starting to get fed up. They're tired of waiting for doing all this work, getting all this stuff, especially people like us who have known that cheating for voting and all the corruption in the government and them wasting our tax dollars, all these things. And now that we even have stacks and stacks of evidence for it, we're still wanting something to happen and nothing's happened. So here we go. Here's Glenn Beck.
I don't know about you, but I'm tired. I am worn out. I am fed up. I've had enough. I am tired of exposing corruption, doing our homework, going overseas and having documents translated to make sure they're exactly right, presenting the evidence. We know what's happening, except then once we expose it, nothing happens. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody pays for a damn thing anymore. Nothing. If you and I did half the things that people in Washington do every day, you and I would go to prison.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Clinton got away with it. Even the left knew that the Clinton Foundation was dirty. They sold uranium to our biggest enemy, Russia. Nothing. No.
Yeah.
She can take confidential, top secret emails and put them on her server at her home. Something you and I would go to prison for. Mm-hmm. We would be in prison for the rest of our lives. Not a big deal. Benghazi? No. Not only did we show you that we were gun running to a group in Syria that became ISIS, that's what we were doing in Benghazi. Not only that, but just the killing of a U.S. ambassador, and, might I point out, on Veterans Day, we abandon our troops. Mm-hmm. Did anything happen? Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Nothing. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of actually being open and saying, okay, well, let's look into the spying on this presidential candidate. That's a pretty hefty charge. Were they doing it? And then finding out, yes, they were, and nothing happens. He was colluding with Russia. My gosh, that should be the biggest scandal of all time if that were true. If it wasn't true, and it was started, and evidence, paperwork even showed that they knew, all the way to the White House, you'd think that would be even a bigger story. Lying to the FISA courts, nothing. Creating an enemies list, nothing. Using our own intelligence agencies to assist in this operation. Spending millions of dollars on a claim they knew that wasn't true. The collusion on Russia, they knew it before the president was ever elected.
Mm-hmm.
And using our money to do it.
Scandal. The loss of billions of tax dollars in Ukraine, no big deal. The lies and the collusion with the Obama administration in Ukraine, no big deal. Hunter Biden, forget about Burisma. What was that, $7 billion? Who cares? Look at Hunter Biden and his father in China.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but we don't have any proof of that. Yes, we do. We have all the proof anyone who cares to be honest needs. We have all the documents on his own frickin' laptop, which have been verified for people that were working with him, who were Democrats that had those same emails on their computer. Nothing. The scandal of our Justice Department, the deep state, which I didn't believe in 4 years ago. My gosh, you've got to be dead and probably voting in the last election if you don't see the deep state. The corruption of our media telling us to deny our own eyes. There's a car on fire, and they're like, oh, nothing's happening here. It's totally peaceful. There's a car on fire behind you, but we're not supposed to notice that. Good has been made evil, and evil is made good. They ask you now to don't believe your own eyes, believe us.
Mm-hmm.
Our country is being torn apart on the streets by radicals who are marching with no Trump, no Biden, no America signs. But don't worry about that. This is just a peaceful group. Really? Our children are being indoctrinated with all kinds of crap, telling them that they're racist because of the color they were born with. The teachers' unions completely out of control. The lies of Black Lives Matter, Inc., and no one seems to care. No one seems to care that Black Lives Matter is actually a corporation.
Mm-hmm.
That Black Lives Matter, on their own manifesto, said they wanted to destroy the nuclear family. But that's all fine. Antifa? No. They're not wild in the streets. That's only an idea. Yeah, kind of like Nazism was an idea.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, if you support the Constitution, if you just say, I want a fair and legal count, you're a radical. You're an anti-government zealot. I've had it. I've had enough. I almost didn't make the show last week because this is what I wanted to say to you. Except it would have been followed with, so see you later.
It's really sad that we're starting to lose people that speak out, that have been speaking out for a while. And that hurts. That hurts the movement. That hurts people like us that want more new information about what's going on. And we want to see something happen. But people are getting fed up. And I know it's sad to say that, what happened with Comey. He got indicted and the judges.
Well, I mean, that's part of the intimidation,
judges.
right? That's part of the intimidation is if you speak out, we're going to smack you down. You're going to have a target, like that hairdresser that did Nancy Pelosi's hair during COVID, even though she wasn't supposed to be open. She was breaking the rules openly. You're going to do my hair and all like that. Well, she outed Nancy Pelosi and got basically pushed out of California, lost her everything because it shouldn't have been, she should have had thousands of people come out and stand around her and say, this business is going, and everybody get a haircut from her, even though they were breaking the rules or whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy that you have police officers at churches in the parking lot. No, you can't congregate. The hell I can't. Constitution says I can. That's, but you become a target. Look,
but
you want others to speak out. The way you phrase that, I actually hate it, Janet. If you're not willing to put a target on your own back, don't ask a politician, a friend, or anybody else to do so. At one point, we knew in the Constitution, and the people that founded this country is that, if it's like, Rex, we need you in office, then you had a sense of duty and you went and did that, even though you didn't want to do that. Even that might have put you or your family at risk. You said, no, I've got a duty. My life is not my own. This is my country, and I will defend it to my last breath. The treasure and everything that, the reason I have what I have today is because I'm in America, baby. We had a sense of what that meant. Now it's drag your feet.
You got to remember,
it's
too.
old news. Let's move on.
When
no consequences.
Our forefathers set everything up, what they had to go through. Just think about what they went through with all the people, and then the people that were trying to free the slaves and other things like that. The fights that the people had to go through to be able to get those things. People's homes were being burned. People were, hung in trees. I mean, it was really, really
There
awful.
was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence said, it's like the British have your children, and they just want you to renounce what you've done in the past, and your children will be returned to you. And he knew what was going to happen to his children. And he said, no, I can't. He didn't take any time to think of it at all. He knew what was going to happen to his children, but he said, no, got to take a stand, against this tyranny. And it was because of people like that we actually got a toehold, and a chance in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the world has a chance through us, but we've been letting not only American people down, but the citizens of the world, because we kind of chart after World War II the course of things, right? Our economy, and we should have never shut our economy down. That should have been a no-brainer. You can't just restart something like that, and hopefully we learn something from that. But
many years ago, I remember asking about why we didn't have tariffs on countries that were bringing stuff in our country, because I knew people, friends of mine and family members that live in Norway, and she was like, yeah, for a pack of 10 cigarettes it costs $20 if they're Marlboro. Wow. And it was because their tariff was so high because it's American. But we don't tariff their stuff like that when it comes here. So I think it's great that we have tariffs. We used to do that a long, long time ago when we first, got started. And that's how we paid for everything. So because we have more people willing to buy your stuff than you have in your own country. You know what I mean? So they want it. And these people are lining up to make sure that they're able to sell their product in our country. But the thing is,
remember in Russia, they were, you can make a fortune just with old blue jeans. If you took old blue jeans over there, it's like used to be the fashion trend. And I imagine they would still pay even for our raggedy blue jeans that have been worn, because it's like stonewashed jeans. We buy them with holes in them now, they want what we have, which is not just our consumer goods, but our freedom of speech. And, but if we don't know all our liberties, we're bound to lose them, and we do need to get back to basics. We do need a revival in America.
Yeah, we need to make quite a few we just got to keep fighting and not give up. But the thing is, Trump is trying, but he can't do everything with an executive order. He needs Congress to back him. And it's so funny how I remember for, over 2 years listening to the rhinos say, oh, you put me in office and we'll get rid of Obamacare. And look at what they've been doing this last week. They voted against getting rid of it to put the money back in your account so you can pick and choose who you want to spend the money on, but they didn't want to do it. And we have both, the House, everything. We have everything right now, but we're not going to have it for long because we got too many rhinos. I don't know why they should be able to do that. They should have to take a test to be able to say whether they're Democrat, if they're a libertarian or a conservative. You know what I mean? They should have to take a test. If they don't pass the test, then they can't put an R next to their name or an L next to them, things like that. It's wrong, because what they're doing is they run for office and say, oh, I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then they don't do shit. And we should have a right to just say, you're gone. Get rid of them. If they haven't done anything for you after a year, we should be able to get rid of them and put someone else in office. Every single state should have that right. As American citizens, I really
we have put into place things judicially, if we will adhere to that. Now, some of that's been overturned over times and stuff, and that needs to be fixed. But and of course, state by state. See, we believe these lies. Your vote doesn't count. Yes, it counts. It does. You can look statistically and see that it counts. When we stay home and don't vote, that's when it's like floodgates. Hey, all this bad water comes in, and then we're scratching our heads for a decade, wondering, why aren't things getting better?
Well, when people say that, I tell them this. I say, honestly, if your vote didn't count, then why do we have any supposed red states? It wouldn't happen. So it's just that we do have cheating. It's just not in every area of every state. It's in different areas because you have to have enough people involved in the cheating to be able to have it.
Apparently, though, you can catch that on film, catch them dead to rights, destroying ballots the next day, having them garbage pickup. And by law, they're supposed to keep that for at least 6 to 8 months, something like that in the state of Georgia. And yet they were just getting rid of those because that's the evidence. It's wow. That's when the
Travis
citizens need to arise and create such a stir. Forget this Black Lives Matter. Do it peacefully, but do it forcefully, saying we will not let this stand. We will not let the presidency be stolen.
To start following through with all the laws that are on the books right now. We have tons of laws about illegal voting, breaking the law by cheating, all these things in every state. These states should start arresting people and hold them accountable in their states. Because
it still gets me mad that everybody's about their children and what they were doing to their children at school. Okay, but where were you, parents? Where were you, American citizens? Where were you, voters, when Afghanistan and 13 of our best were blown to hell? Where were you speaking out when we got into a war with the Ukraine that we didn't need to get into, which was preventable? Where were you? But when somebody comes and takes a dump in your yard, then you start yelling. And then you start going, you won't touch my children.
Many people did speak out. But Facebook got rid of
not
them.
enough, apparently.
Yeah, but
I still saw people clinging to planes and falling off. With American children trapped behind lines to be, abused, beheaded, and all that stuff. And yet parents remain silent. But then you touch their children. Oh, don't do that. They got a good point. I'm not saying they shouldn't have done that. But where were they speaking out against other issues that matter just as much? I'm tired of the great silence in America. If you remain silent, you deserve to lose your country, and you probably will.
Yeah, but the sad truth is there's a lot of innocent people that did fight. That's what I was saying. What was it, like 3 weeks ago on the show? I said, all of us that are fighting for America first, okay, when we do finally get some, like we've gotten rid of a bunch of the NGOs because of Doge, and we're slowly, throwing things out, stopping the money being funded to a lot of these things with Marco Rubio, things like that, and Ted Cruz and all these other people finally are doing something because we're getting all this evidence, right? Slowly, legally, but the truth is all those people that voted for that shit that are leaving in droves in California, Oregon, and Washington State and going to Texas and Florida, they're going there and now they're voting the same way they did there and turning those states into the states they left. That's the problem. Is because these people bitch and moan they paying high taxes or $7 for a gallon of gas and blaming Trump for it. And I'm like, hey, it's $2.85 in Arkansas. So you paying that in there is because your state is taxing the crap out of you. Why aren't you bitching at the people in your state for doing that instead of it's all Trump? It's not all Trump's fault. We all have a hand in it. And depending on what state you live in, I mean, look at the poor lady in Colorado that's in jail because she was trying to prove that there was cheating going on. And she's an elderly woman. She might not get out.
Listen, without sacrifice, you're not going to change this country. Without true passion, and it may take you giving up everything, just like the founders, to save the next generation. If you say you love your children, or if you say you love your grandchildren or your great grandchildren in this nation, you might have to make the ultimate sacrifice.
Yep, and a lot of people are still. I mean, after what we saw after what we saw with the January 6th mess, and then all the evidence coming out showing they had agents in the crowd shooting grenades and stuff behind people to force them towards the Capitol. You know, all kinds of, the whole thing was rigged, set up.
Does it not? You know, you got people unlawfully detained for years and abused by the security there to humiliate them, to destroy them, to say, you dare to raise your head up against the God called the government. Yes. You know, the irony to me, though, is don't, you know, it was getting a little too close to home with the children, what they were doing with that. And I'm not saying that they shouldn't speak out about that, but really, that's all you got to say. You got Americans detained in prison right now unlawfully for nothing, just being in the general vicinity, not even being charged, called treasonous.
Yeah, and that's one reason why I wanted to play this gentleman, what he's saying. He says it is a rhino coup against Trump. It's a uniparty effort between not going after Ilhan Omar, Indiana gerrymandering, no support for Trump in Congress, no voter ID incentives, suckering him into job-killing AI deals. Okay, so this is his point of view, but I like to try to play as many different points of view as I can. And really, he makes a lot of sense. So I wanted to play this for everybody can hear it, and I'll share it in the chat too, in case you want to share it with someone else.
There's a coup. There's a coup against Trump, and that coup is being led by the Republican Party. I say it all the time, and I'm going to double down, triple down, quadruple down today, and probably more days to come. The Republican Party wants Trump to be done. They want MAGA to be over, and they are allowing this to fizzle out by not supporting the president at all. In fact, they're actually going against him. No better example than what took place in Indiana. The gerrymandering that has been going on around the country has been designed either to take Trump down or to try to prop Trump up in the midterms. Indiana had a whole plan going forward for gerrymandering to make it to where the Republicans would have a stronger hold in that state and ultimately turning it all red. With a 40-10 advantage, Republicans to Democrats in the state Senate. This should have just passed like a breeze, but it didn't happen. 21 of the 40 Republicans claimed ethical reasons that they went and voted with the Democrats, so it failed. Ethical reasons? Have you ever seen a Democrat ever act ethically? What are you talking about? You know that the best way to defend the American citizen, the Indiana voter, anybody of that nature, is to keep the Democrats far away from any sort of power, because that's when people are handcuffed, both literally and figuratively. So why would you do that? Why would you go against the president, even when the president and other people in your party said that you were going to get primaried if you went along with the Democrats? The only reason why you would do that is if you think that the president is losing all of his power, all of his mojo, and that things are going to go so bad for him that he's going to lose so much support that you want to keep a far arm's distance away from him. That's exactly what's happening. That's why Ilhan Omar is not being seriously investigated, because there's so much inner doings and backroom deals. Ilhan Omar went from $65,000 net worth a few years ago to now $30 million. She's been married 3 times and a possible 4th to her brother. She gets up on stage and says that her whole objective is to fight for the Somalis. This is a layup to get this woman. The Republicans don't do it because the Republicans don't want to bring her down, because Republicans know that they will then be the subject of the fire from the Democrats at some point. It is an inner working, and almost everything you see, this is why we can't get anything passed right now. There has never been a president in my lifetime in his first year who have gotten less things passed than Trump. And that's because the Republicans, make no mistake. I hope you share the video. If you're new to me, give me a like. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, and he's right, though. All you have to do is look, and you can go and look and Google it, how many Laws were signed, different things like that with Congress, involved with the president over the different 4 years with all the different presidents, or even in their first year, things that were done and signed off on by the president. And right now, I think it's like 50 something. That's it. That's all Trump has this year.
Yeah. And,
and because he has a lame duck Congress, they don't want to do shit for him. They hate Trump. They hate us. They hate that we voted for him. See, that's how I see it.
You got to get these people out of office. That's just all there is. You got a clean room. Yeah, they're on the dole. They like it. They're making money. They're having their drinks and partying it up, and the American people are suffering for it. And you got the president doing just what Biden did, which was just sign an executive order. And after his presidency, all that can be overturned.
That's what happened. Remember, the first 4 days Biden was in office, he just sat and wrote executive orders to undo the ones that Trump was done.
15 is his first day in office, and Trump's probably. I don't blame Trump on doing some of that to get some of this going. If you don't grease the wheels and get the machinery going, you're going to be all seized up. And when it comes to they've forgotten how to legislate. It seems like not a lot of them don't even know. The Republicans on the right don't even know what proper legislation is. So, and the Democrats certainly don't. They've been radicalized. Yeah, you need to get Omar out of there. She needs to be deported. She needs to have her
governor. That whole state is corrupt. I mean, it is so bad, at top to bottom. Millions and 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 millions of dollars wasted on that one state from corruption. So start pulling out one state at a time, and it's so deep. I mean, they're swimming in it. I mean, it's so full of shit. The whole state. It's going to take years, basically, of court. All types of things going on.
Cutting off. We didn't get here. It took about a century for us to get where we're at now, Janet. We'll never get out of it in our lifetimes. Not in our lifetimes. We won't get out of it. We won't see the day where but that's okay. You plant the seed. You tend the crop. You let it grow for the next generation. We forgot about that we're not working. Our life is not our own. We're working for a better tomorrow. That when I was doing ministry, I was like, man, I've been here a year, and I was there a total a year and a half. So I still had 6 months to go in that position, and didn't even know it, But I talked to my friend Elsie. You met him just last night, I think it was, or the night before on our draw stream. We've been friends for 40 years. Met in college, and I said, I'm not seeing any fruit. I'm not seeing any fruit. And they said, Rex, you may never see any fruit. You might be there just to plant the seed. You might just be there to water the seed. If you get to see some fruit, praise God. If you get to plant some seed, praise God. If you get to water, praise God, and everything, praise God. But I mean, you may never see any fruit. And that was an eye opener for me. We want to see fruit. We want to see people indicted. We want to see them go to prison. But in our lifetime, look, it took us 100 years. Communists have been working on this. In their manifesto in 1957, they've checked off everything. Yep, done that in America. This. Yeah, we don't want to live under a communist regime, but some of us do. Unfortunately, that's how brain dead we are.
When people get used to getting something for doing nothing, it's nice. Why would somebody go to work and sweat and clean and shovel or whatever their job is when they can get a check at home and just have another baby? You see what I mean? There's just so many easy ways out. But we've done that. All of us have added to it. But this right here, this is another part of the reason why we're in such bad shape when it comes to the money, the fraud with the money. It's so deep in so many branches coming out from different people making money off of it. This is not just insider trading. Okay, is one way that people make money, but here's another way. I just want you to listen to this guy and who set this up. See, that's what's taking so long, is when you get one story like this, and then you got to dig in and find out who started it, and then who allotted the money to start going into it. You see what I mean? Who's taking money out of it? Who's benefiting from it? Because it definitely isn't the taxpayers. So that's what, this is why it's going to take so long. Is this things like this? But here we go.
This week, I started doing foreclosures on undocumented properties that the people had to leave in a hurry. I just left one. Pizza boxes open, pizza was still there. All the food was still in the pantry. Mm-hmm. They grabbed whatever valuables they could, left everything else behind. These are foreclosures, so these are homes that were bought using FHA, guaranteed by the government for undocumented people. Last month, over 252,000 people were deported in Texas alone. So all of a sudden, we're starting to see the effects now. I did another one yesterday. They come tagged as possible undocumented immigrant. Furniture's there, fish tank, dead fish. They left in a hurry. If you want to see that content, I put that content on my wife's page or on my YouTube page. My wife's page is Ants and Liz, or Ants_Liz, or Ants Inc. on YouTube. They all go there too. I don't flood them on this page, but it looks like that's becoming a trend.
Okay, so this is one guy. This is just one guy involved in this, but there's many, many, many others, hundreds of people like him that do the exact same job. What's sad is I have friends that have been trying to buy a house for many years, and they can't get the help from the government or from their state to get a loan to apply to buy a house, even a small house, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, something like that, in the boonies somewhere. They can't get help. But an undocumented person that's not even an American citizen gets a government-backed loan. Why? Who did it? See, this is where we have to dig down deep so we can start getting these people and hold them accountable. Go ahead, Bruce.
Okay, there's two solutions on that. First off, the undocumented fucks that are doing this are going probably through a private financier, some guy that owns the actual development itself. He's the one that's probably stamping it because he's putting his own money up because he's a communist. That's why the colony in Texas over in Houston is that way. The colony is a huge situational problem. Even cops kind of refuse to go there. Secondly, in Minnesota, they've got their own set of forms for the Somalis, for these fags, or these faggots that are there ruining American countries and counties. You had 80,000 people, thanks to half-cracker Obama, get dumped in the Minneapolis area, and it totally fucked up the voting demographic. So they are making their own paperwork for these special fucks to do all of their needs. As long as they keep voting for these corrupt pieces of shit, that's going to happen. So there's two ways it's happening. It's the same thing. It's corruption. I yield with you.
Well, you're 100% right. That's why I brought this up. I'm trying to show how many different levels there are in every state. Now, this is in Texas, what he's talking about. And people are going on and on and on about Minnesota and Detroit, California, maybe Washington, Oregon, or whatever, New York. That's it. That's all they talk about. But these are red states.
We're not quite little Mogadishu yet.
How?
That's Minneapolis.
But they got the grip in already.
A big thing is, look, difference in between Minnesota and Texas or Florida is if you flip either Texas or Florida, you win the vote. It's over at that point. And so that's why so many illegals were allowed into Texas, just flood it, and Florida too. But with DeSantis there, he kind of, but yeah, they want to flip Texas, they want to flip Florida, just so they can flip the vote from where you can't even win an election.
Yeah, it's scary.
Organized, it's planned. We need to be as organized and as planned, and we need to be playing the long game. We never seem to play the long game.
Well, plus we need to have people, we need to get rid of people like Crenshaw and many others that are basically just Democrats and with their hands out thinking that we owe them something.
We can't get rid of this Somali crap we can't even get rid of her, and she's treasonous. She's obviously.
But what I'm trying to say is
evidence
that's in
against
Minnesota.
her.
But we have the same problem that we have in Minnesota, in Michigan, California, New York, Texas. New
York now. Yeah.
It just goes on and on and on. And that's why each of you have a constitution in your state. Start fighting for your state and use your constitution of your state to start processing and getting rid of some of these people. But one person can't do it to every state. Each state has had its own people stand up and say, instead of running to another state and voting the same way, thinking, wow, I'm free. I got lower taxes. I got this, that, and the other. Yeah, it's only going to last for one generation. And now your kids that were in Texas, where it was, cheaper and freer, is now more and more corrupt because of people coming in and bringing in their points of view from somewhere else because they hated where they were. So it just
like
goes
you
on
said
and on
earlier,
and
out
on.
of California, droves and droves of people driven out of California.
Yeah. But I want to this is some of the stuff. We're going to go back and forth depending on the different thing, but all of it has to do with fraud, different levels of fraud in different states, different people involved, but it's coming out. But now we have
you not heard, Janet? They will do what we want them to do. Have you not heard that?
No.
That bitch needs to be deported, needs to be impeached. Needs to be looked into. She's got her. If she's a citizen, she's got constitutional rights. Obviously, she has, or she can't hold office. But her finances need to be looked into.
Yeah, and she needs to be arrested.
Yeah,
they need to arrest her and take her to court. Let's make it. Since it's federal, why not make it on TV so people can watch it and learn and understand what happened and who did it and who all was involved. We deserve that as American taxpayers.
We need the exposure, absolutely. But even though we have that, you're going to have, some people with cojones to do that, because the mainstream media is not going to do it. And they should not be called the mainstream media. They're mainstream propaganda.
I don't call them that. I use very few, just one or two different people from different places.
Proletariat media.
So that's it. But I'm going to play this real quick. And
have you played Leonardo?
Not yet. I haven't done that. I sent you a thing on Discord saying, please send me the link on Discord, because I couldn't get my phone to let me send it, because my phone does not have these apps on it. It's all on my computer. That's why I do so much on X and I'm on Discord, because I don't want to spend more money on my phone than I need to. But here we go. I'm going to play this.
For having me. There are much deeper issues. I've moved into the U.S. And in Maine about 11 years ago. And basically the first question that members of my community asked me which tribe, I belong to. And when I mentioned, so I fell into that category. So there's a deeper tribal rivalry going on in the community, much larger than anybody can actually imagine. And then interestingly enough, even though I spoke,
boost the volume, Janet.
Things that I was
do what?
told,
boost his volume. He sounds like a mumble rapper.
Okay, I got it up as loud like that.
Didn't know what actually it was.
Can you hear it better?
and sign up for all the other community benefits within the government or the state. And my response was, I'm actually here to work and build, basic and become part of the American fabric, which is pretty much what I've been
incredibly
working on
fascinated by what you're having to say. So much so that I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just want to clarify. So when you felt that pressure and you were told to go join, public welfare programs once you moved here, where was that pressure coming from? Are you saying it's like cultural, like neighborhood, like neighbors telling you this is what you should do? How were you pushed in that direction?
Well, it was coming from the community that actually thought that was just a way of life, right? I instead of being asked about what kind of school I want to go to, what subjects I would love to study, and those interesting conversations weren't there at all. And my response was, can we do better things? Can we, as a community, actually integrate? And let's listen to that word, interestingly, because that had got me a huge backlash. This is many years ago that many people thought, no, let's not talk about integration. And I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for a pushback against this idea of sort of melting into America, becoming part of America. And let's just be very clear that I haven't arrived here as a young man. I mean, I came here at age 29, so I was well informed about my culture, my community, growing up in the civil war in Somalia.
Incredibly, you're telling me you not only were discouraged from integrating into America, but you were also encouraged to stick to your tribal allegiances from back in Somalia, and those tribal allegiances and divisions remain here in America. That stat I showed, I'm curious, Abdi, about the percentage of the Somali population on some form of welfare, 80%, and stays that way over a 10-year period. Does that surprise you?
In some ways, it does not. Let me give you one example here. When I was in Somalia, a huge part of the population in Somalia, we're talking about 20 million people in Somalia, a huge number of that depended on $100 that family members in the U.S. sent back home. So there was not a lot of work to rebuild the country or get to work or, just basically building things. So this whole idea of receiving things the easy way has unfortunately actually evolved and became part of our way of life.
Wow. That's really sad, isn't it? They just like that the other night when I played that video of the gentleman that was a whistleblower from that company, that food processing plant, that said that they had Somalians working there that were urinating and defecating all over the place, and then washing their genitals in the sinks and stuff like that, and that they were still keeping the plant open. I mean, if OSHA came in to a grocery store and they saw somebody that worked there taking a shit or pee-peeing in the aisle, what do you think would happen? They close the store down,
They don't do that fast enough. They don't close things down fast enough in these high migrant areas.
Yeah, it's disgusting because the people who own that company have too much sway in what's going on in the state and not worried about Americans eating this food that's coming from a contaminated business. You see what I mean?
Even where I live, when I moved in here, I had an old couch and I had it outside for a month, and I was the next day going to remove it to the landfill. Mm-hmm. And it had been out there for a little while, right? I had to arrange to get a truck, whatever, and one of the neighbors reports me. Okay, get this out of here. Well, I was the next day. If you just come over here and been like a neighbor to me and just asked me, I would have told you, yeah, it'll be gone by tomorrow, instead of reporting me. Now, I'm on this side of the town, right? If I go over to the other side of town, they could put garbage out in front of their house that remains for months that the city doesn't pick up and everything, because that's just lower income. That's bullshit. It should be the same ruling for all over town. They've got to keep their yards clean, just like me. Just, this disparaging between, oh, that's over there. It's norm. All the all the places, every residence is that way.
Yeah, but
It's
the thing is,
unfair to ask them to do what
it,
you're
it
asking
is.
most of the
It
other
is
city to do.
unfair,
Really?
but they got away with it. Okay. And they did get away with it. So they just keep doing it. You see what I mean? Because people are
Right.
afraid to say anything. Because if I say anything, they're going to call me a racist. Oh, they're going to call me a bigot, or they're going to call me, or my house might get egged, or they scratch my car, or put poop on my hood of my car. You see, they worry about that more than whether their kids are going to grow up in a town or their neighborhood where they're going to be assaulted on their way to school. Things like that. That they're not thinking past the moment of embarrassment because someone's going to point the finger at them. It's pathetic. It's disgusting and pathetic that people do not think about it that way. They don't want the shame of being called a Nazi. I've had my channel taken down for 2 weeks at a time simply because I called out pedophiles, and I played a 7-minute video about Podesta and Hillary's emails going back and forth, and I'm a cyber bully and all these different things. I've had my channel taken down many times, but guess what? I take their dumb tests and I do all the stuff they ask, and I still have a warning against my channel right now since January 2024. Okay. And I still have it up, and I've sent letters, I've called, I've done everything I could, but I still have a warning. So I'm already one step closer to getting a strike against my channel because they won't take it down, because they hate me. They hate what I do. I'm not monetized. I probably never will be, because every time I get shut down, that's 2 weeks where I don't accumulate any hours, because they hate me. But guess what? It just makes me more determined to do what I'm doing, to try to get information out that other people may not have ever heard of. And because I'm passionate about it. I love my country. I love my veterans, the people that sacrifice to give me freedom to be a woman and be able to wear whatever I want. I don't have to have my face covered up. I can drive a car. I can get a job. I can do a lot of things that other countries a woman doesn't have the right to do, and I'm proud of that.
If we were informed about our rights, if we did that, if we just volunteered, as an adult citizens, and informed the young people growing up and a generation of what you actually could do, that yes, you could, in off hours, you could have a religious meeting within the schools. There is no separation between the church and state, nor there should be. And the founders were against that. If we just informed people about their rights, perhaps they might start, acting upon that.
Well, a lot of people should know that. They're taught those things in school.
You can go on YouTube. You can watch wall builders, all kinds of stuff that is will feed you the right information.
But then here's something else that I found out about this week, about what our lame duck people that we put in office are doing. Because it says here, Senate just killed the bill that would have sent real money straight to your HSA so you can buy whatever health care you want. 51-48. Every single Democrat voted no. Let that sink in. Of course,
they're in lockstep. Sure.
Yeah, because they're making money, just like all the people that you're seeing go in. They're making $70,000 a year, and they leave. They own $30 million. It's pathetic, and they don't care because they know that they're untouchable. So we have to make them untouchable. I mean, not untouchable. We got to be able to take them, put them in jail. I don't want to just say, oh, we're going to capture them. Here's the evidence and deport them. I want to see them go to trial and go to jail. And then when they get out, then kick their ass out of our country. But we need to show everyone else that from now on, this is what's going to happen to you if you do shit like this, because we have to hold people accountable if we expect anything to change.
You see the frustration of Glenn Beck earlier in the show.
I know.
I've exposed this and this and this and this and this. Nothing's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yet you can't give up the fight. You got to keep exposing the stuff and
he won't. He's not going to quit because Glenn Beck is not a quitter. he isn't, and I can see why he's upset, and I understand where he's coming from, because I said by the end of this year, if something doesn't start happening, that I was going to start pointing the finger, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I told him to give him the benefit of the doubt to see what we could get going. But after what happened with Comey, when I told everybody, as soon as they get him in there, we don't have the judges yet. The whole time that we were on the, shutdown, every time they had a chance, that Trump had a chance to go in there and just start appointing whoever he wanted because he didn't need them because they were shut down, they would go in and bang the gavel. To make
Three
sure
branches of government, and judicial is out of control.
That's
it's
right.
supposed to be the weakest of the three branches, and yet it's not.
Yep, we're. I just wanted to share that. I'm going to put that in the chat for everybody. But the thing is that this is what we have right now. This is our Senate. They don't care about you having the money in your account to spend it where you see best for your family when it comes to your health care. See what I mean?
No, they didn't do away with Obamacare. Why would they do this?
Do what we say. We know better than you. That's how they're treating us, which is fuck you, is how I feel.
Absolutely.
Sorry, yeah. I can't stand it. It's wrong. It's so wrong. If you go out and you sweat and you work your ass off, that money is your money. Period. And the little tiny bit that you have to pay, you should have to only pay a very small portion to make sure we're not invaded and to pay our military. That's it. And then a few to the state, because we have to have a state, we have to have roads, we have to have things like that. Common sense tells us we understand that. But the rest of the money is ours. And if I don't want to pay for health insurance and I want to just throw the money in when I go to the clinic or whatever, that's my right as an American to spend my money whatever way I want. If I want
most grown adult American citizens have enough common sense to know how to better spend the money in their daily budgets. Now yes, some don't, 100%. But then that, so. Personal responsibility is not being preached enough.
Because kids aren't taught that. Because they're being taught
no critical thinking.
They get a car, they get a phone, all the fancy clothes, whatever it is they want. They don't have chores. They can just do whatever they want, and they can yell at their parents. They can say, not do shit, and we reward them for it. So as long as we do that, then why should a kid grow up to be responsible? I had a boot up my ass, if I didn't do what I was supposed to, and I got in trouble and I couldn't use the car.
It's still there. You're sitting on it.
I know.
It's still up there somewhere.
But do you have anything you want to say about that? What I was just talking about with this crappy position that
these guys just voted no all on that HSA opportunity we had, and every fucking Democrat just shot it down.
Yeah, but so did some of the Republicans.
Can we just have a whole new Congress? Can we get rid of these geriatric fucks? Like, I need a Richie Valens plane, like 10 of them loaded with Congress people, and just hit a fucking mountain. Because I don't give a fuck about these guys. All they're doing is just ruining everything they touch. It's like the thing in the next room. Everything it touches, it just fucking ruins. I came home like an hour ago. Where's my key at? I'm like, I don't know where your keys are. Why don't I have my keys? I don't know. Where are they at? I must have locked them in my car 2 weeks in a row, huh? Can't wait for the divorce to be final. Be out of here.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's my fault. I married it, and it morphed into this. It's not normal.
Well, here was something else when it comes to Social Security, because we know already because of Doge that we've had people on Social Security that were 200-something years old, and somebody was cashing the checks. All of those people should be arrested. We've got plenty of evidence for that. But I wanted to play this because this is Elon talking about it, and he explains it real well. And I'm going to I want to put hold on, I gotta figure out where that is at. I messed up somehow. Shit, I don't know how to do this. I messed up. Right here, I gotta. Oh, it's this one.
You know how to do it.
All right, here we go.
That's the nature of the scam. It's a bank shot. So then the rebuttal from the Dems is like, oh, well, the vast majority of the people who are marked as live in the Social Security Administration weren't receiving Social Security Administration payments. That is true. What they forgot to mention is they're getting fraudulent payments from every other government program. And that's why the Dems were so opposed to turning off, to declaring someone dead who was dead, because it would stop the entire all the other fraud from happening.
And so, but all this, is it trackable? Like all this other fraud,
It's
if
totally
they
trackable.
wanted to, they could chase it all down.
Yeah, it's not even hard.
And yet they're opposing chasing it all down.
They're opposing chasing it all down because it turns off the money magnet for the illegals.
Wow. Because
it's very logical to like I'm saying the most common sense things possible. If someone's got a birthday in Social Security that is an impossible birthday, meaning they are older than the oldest living American or were born in the future, then you should call them and say, excuse me, we seem to have your birthday wrong, because it says that you're 200 years old. That's all you need to do. And
then you would remove them from the Social Security database and make that number no longer available for all those other government payments.
Exactly.
Wow. And how much money are we talking?
It's hundreds of billions of dollars.
And this is all traceable. Like you could hunt all this down.
Like you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes here, is what I'm saying.
Well,
we don't need to call Sherlock Holmes for this one.
Is this part of
just need to call the person and say, excuse me, we seem to have the we must have your birthday wrong because it says you're 200 years old or were born in the future. So could you tell us what your birthday is? That's all you need to do. It's that simple.
But all these other government payments that are available that are connected to this Social Security number, it seems like if you just chased that all down, you would find the widespread fraud. You would find where it's going.
Yes, but the root of the problem is the Social Security Administration database, because the Social Security number in the United States is used as a de facto national ID number.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's why, like, at the bank always asks for your social. So, like, any financial institution will ask for your Social Security number.
It sounds so insane that this isn't chased down. I mean,
I agree.
That in and of itself that's such mishandling.
Yes. No, it's mind blowing. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
it's scary, isn't it? That they've gotten away with it.
Balance the budget. You want to balance the budget? There's hundreds of billions of dollars right here.
Yep. I mean, there's so many ways to fix some of these things. It's just that they got to get all the evidence, and then you have to have people that aren't corrupt set it back out and set it back out like it was set up in the first place to where it works. You see what I mean? And then you have to have somebody oversee it to make sure it doesn't go back to where we are now. But see, over time, you had so many people scratching each other's ass so that they can all suck from the tit of the government, right? Off of us, all working our ass off.
How it is,
really paying the
most
bills.
Things, there's the rules and on the books, and very few just go by that. When your feet hit the work floor, there's a way things work, an inner dynamic, right? That's not, quote, done strictly by the book. Mm-hmm. There's what theoretical, and then there's reality, what it really is or morphed into. And what we've morphed into is like the Hydra monster that goes up against Godzilla. It's you cut one head off and another grows up. I'm just here to say hell Hydra, I mean, and give up the ghost. I don't know,
Hell Hydra.
They're going to stick.
Somebody has to say it.
They never give up. We've got to know that. And the thing that really gets me is I would rather see the jackboots coming down Main Street. At least I see the enemy and I know who to fight. this underhanded behind your back. You never know who you're fighting, and whether they're a rhino supposedly on your side or they're just radicalized left or some other entity. The days of knowing, okay, these are the Nazis over here, that's bad, we got to fight them, are kind of over. It's like everything's sleight of hand, and that's it's going to be hell pulling all this out and rebuilding this engine, but it needs to be done.
But see, that's what's happening right now. Right now, where they're doing the exposure, you have all these different, because of Doge, they went in and found corruption over here, there. They found all these different links, all these tentacles going out from one agency, which was the government, sucking money every which way, but every way.
But what's being done about it? Where are the arrests?
Well, the thing is, if they arrest all these people, who's going to try them? We already saw what happened to Comey.
We the people, and try and get a venue that's not,
All I'm saying is, like this lady right here, she's about to explain something else. Another part of it, Social Security, you got this, you got that, you got all these things. All the evidence is coming out. We're Kash Patel is trying to clean house, get rid of the agents that help do this, that, and the other. Just like what they just said, they just arrested the guy, the real pipe bomber. Okay, with evidence they already had from 4 years ago. See, that's the problem. We have tons and tons of evidence that they have to go through again, because the last administration did nothing, especially if it made them look bad. They didn't do anything. They didn't push it. They didn't look into it. And then they got to January 6th, where you can see that they put
you ain't voting for me, you ain't black.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's the fucking administration we had last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe it.
They're cleaning it up now. They're trying to clean it up and weed it out, and they just arrest the pipe bomber with evidence.
That seems to be the trend, Janet. We go in there and fuck it up, and then somebody else, the other party comes in and does cleanup and gets hardly anything done. And like you say, there's not the heart to get anything done. Nobody's feet are being held to the fire. And they won't even vote right on this.
You know what's going to happen? If we don't start doing what we're supposed to be doing and finally get all this together and start arresting people and start holding people accountable, guess what's going to happen? None of us are going to have anything. They're going to come to our homes, kick our ass out, arrest us, put us in a cage or kill us, and then give our stuff to someone else that they feel deserves it because they don't think we do. I mean, one of the top people that they were talking about not letting me have medical care and putting me in a camp because I didn't want to get the jab. So I already know what's going to happen to me. I'll probably die on my front porch, protecting what little I have.
Yeah.
If it ends up coming to that. But guess what? I'd rather have that happen than have to wear a burqa. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Isn't that the most gay fucking outfit? And I don't understand why Muslim women submit to that. Like, there's like 4 times the amount of Muslim
it's either submit or get beaten to death in the street.
I mean,
you don't have any choice.
There's a lot more.
They can hold you down and cut your clitoris off if you're a woman.
That's already been done. That was done when she was like, what, 6, 12?
Not if they come to your house and take you in this new country. If they think you're pretty or whatever they want, or they want to pass you around as 55 men, like what they did to those poor women after what happened when they went into Israel. And then you see them,
look
they
at
get
Obama,
out of the car,
you had that
blood coming out of every orifice on a woman. Well, what do you think they were doing to her? 50 to 100 men.
Under Obama, remember the female reporter in Egypt that was accosted about 200 men over
Laura Logan? Laura Logan? You're talking about Laura Logan, I believe.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Her life is
she spoke about
pretty
that
much over with.
She's
got to be a basket case after that.
No, she's not right now.
I was so angry about that. It's like, of course, yeah. I mean, That's an American citizen.
He actually lives about 25 miles from me up in Fredericksburg.
Yeah, I've been on a few shows where she was being interviewed. So she's still out there
hard.
fighting.
She's a very nice person. She's a fighter.
Yeah.
I tell you that much. I feel sorry for any Muslim going up to Fredericksburg wanting to make prayer call part of the morning ritual there. She will destroy them. She's holding on to a little nugget of revenge, I'm pretty certain. Anyway.
Okay, well, I want to, because this is what Tim Burchett is trying to defund the Taliban. Have you guys heard about this yet?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to play this, and then we can talk about it. But here we go.
Well, we finally figured out why the United States of America continues to send the Taliban $40 million a week. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you. My representative, Tim Burchett from the great state of Tennessee, has proposed a bill called Defund the Taliban that would allow the United States government to stop sending the Taliban $40 million a week. And while it has passed the House of Representatives, it is now stuck in committee in the Senate, and no one knew why until today. Apparently, the reason we are still funding the Taliban about $40 million every single week is due to this guy. Meet Tom West, a Senate Foreign Relations Committee staffer who previously worked as special envoy to Afghanistan under the Joe Biden administration. Now, Tom West had his security clearance revoked by Tulsi Gabbard due to the fact that he has some pretty close ties to the Taliban. And now, all of a sudden, Tim Burchett's bill can't get out of the committee that he staffs for. So I'm not entirely positive why an unelected staffer is somehow controlling legislation for foreign relations. But here is what Representative Tim Burchett had to say.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. As you know, as I've been championing the cause to quit paying the dadgum Taliban $40 million or $45 million, whatever it is a week. We're giving them over $5 billion total since the Biden administration. Every week, we can't stop the bill. We can't get the bill passed in the Senate. It's taken me over a year to get it out of the dadgum House. And we got a fellow over in the Senate who is a staffer, but he was a former, I believe, ambassador to Afghanistan. And his name is what? Tom West. And apparently, our good friend Tulsi Gabbard and the Trump administration denied him his security clearance because of his alleged cozy relationship with the Taliban. And so I suspect that's what's going on in the Senate. That's why they're stopping the bill. And people say, well, y'all are in the majority. Why don't you just act like it? Well, you got to have 60 votes over there to pass a bill of this significance. And that's the holdup. And we're going to continue to see this kind of nonsense until the country wakes up. And I don't care what party you're in. We shouldn't be paying these people any money. They will hate us for free. All they're going to do is use that money to come at us in a different area and kill Americans and kill our allies. Dadgummit. This is what's going on. I'm letting you know about it. You can make the call. Call your senator if you've got a Democrat senator. This is beyond that. This is actual, in my opinion, corruption. We know this money flows around. We know, Elon Musk told us about it flowing into dark money campaigns. And I think some of this money, I'm not sure if this is or some of the other, but surely it's flowing back into the pockets of politicians in Washington. And if it's a Republican, I hope they haul them out of here in chains, and a Democrat as well, because I don't care. I'm sick of it. We're $38 trillion in debt. We're sending over $40 million a week to the Taliban, and the United States Congress doesn't have the guts to stop it. That's pathetic. Let's fix it. Thank y'all.
See, that's what I was trying to show you. That we do have people that are fighting for us. Okay, real people. And guess what? I'm sure he's getting death threats. I guarantee that he has to worry about his family every day when he's not there, when he's at work trying to get this done. Just like he said, he's been doing this for over a year to get it out of one part of the government into another. It's bullshit. You know why? Because we have too many corrupt pieces of shit in there stopping it at every turn. And this is just one thing. Just like I just said, we saw stuff with Social Security. We saw stuff with the Somalis. We saw stuff with the Muslims. We're seeing stuff right now, just money that they've already allotted $40 million a week to go to the Taliban that want all of us dead. They want to take all of our women and all of our daughters and treat them like they did when we saw what was happening when all those women were taken in Israel. What do you think that's going to happen to all the American women that they get? Well, if they can't convert you, well, they're just going to beat you to death after they probably rape you to death, and your daughters and your sons too. They'll and your dog. They'll kill all your dogs because they hate dogs. That's what they said. That's one thing you won't have as a pet, as a dog. And you won't be eating pork either once they take over our country. There's no pork, no dogs. And the women have to be head to toe, clothed, and get beaten if you don't do what you're told. And I'll say, fuck that. I'd rather die. So I will be one of the ones that they hang, cut my head off, or whatever it is. I'm not going to do it, or I'll do it myself if I have to. There's no way I'm going to live in that kind of life after being free for most of my life. There's no way I'm going to cater to these people. Just not going to do it. And I'm willing to say that. I am not ashamed to say that. I'm a Christian, and I am not a Muslim, and I will never be a Muslim. So there you go. And that's how I feel about it. But the thing is, I bet most people don't even know anything about this. You know why? Because we don't have a news media that tell you anything, because they don't want you to know what's going on, because guess what? They're all getting this too. The lettuce is free flowing.
There needs to be an uprising, as far as the American consciousness. He needs to not just put this out on social media, but have rallies like Trump-like rallies, and not only in Tennessee.
Well, if he's having rallies, who's going to be in Congress trying to do this stuff? See, we have to do it. The people have to step up and start getting this information out so that we can get more people behind it. That's the only way.
I mean, there are times when they take Christmas season off, or that they're not up there in Washington, and those are the times that need to be scheduled every day, some kind of activity.
Everything that we've seen with all the lawfare, okay, with Trump, was to try to keep him out of office. Well, he almost got shot in the head, all this stuff, and he still made it. He's president. He picked a whole new team, and his team is, like he just said, Kristi Noem went through this, and she's going through all these different things too, all these stacks and stacks of stuff to try to take security clearances away from these people, so that they don't have the right to go in there and dig around, find more shit,
right.
Get them out. So she's doing her part. They're doing it. It just takes a long time because there's fucking tons and tons and tons of paperwork. And
it does take
when you're
time,
in the halls of Congress walking around, are you going to just talk to this person and that one? Who in the hell are you going to trust?
Well, look, man, somebody said out in the chat, about Obama, and look, man, you're not going to take the big ones down. You're not going to do it, but at least get some low hanging fruit.
Never say never.
Well, okay. Never say never. Fine. But I'm just saying that's going to be even a more sticky wicket than some of this low hanging fruit that you can show people being prosecuted, actually taken to trial, and, get some of the low-hanging fruit and go after the big people. Absolutely. Those are the ones that most need to be taken down. I concur with you. We're on the same side, Janet. But
I know we are. But it's working. It's coming out. See, look how many years went by when none of us knew anything about any of these things.
Right. Public awareness has went through the roof compared to what it was, because we were stone cold asleep before, a lot of us,
because they didn't want us to know. They were hiding it from us. But guess what? It's leaking out. We're finding more.
Well, now
and people are sharing
now
it
we
now.
have evidence. Now we have evidence of it. We have precedents that we can point to. Previously, we didn't have that.
Yeah, and here's another aspect of more fraud in a totally different area and how these people are getting away with it. And the reason they did it is because a certain administration brought them in by the plane loads in the middle of the night and made sure to put them in certain areas where they could control where the money was coming from and how much more money they're going to get. Because if they're in my state and I need housing or I need this, that, and the other, I'm going to get more federal money. And that's why it's important that we have Trump, because he's going to cut the money off. If you're a sanctuary city, if this, that, and the other, all the things, he's already doing it. He's already been writing executive orders because we don't have anyone that wants to make laws because they're too busy fighting over not wanting you to have money for your insurance in your own bank account. You see what I mean? That's the problem. We are having to fight every day to take back what is ours. And and if it wasn't for people like this person and the people that we've already showed that have come out and spoke out about it, a lot of people wouldn't even know about it. You see, that's what's important. Sharing.
Yeah, we're climbing uphill, no doubt about it. And you know, we need to not get discouraged, and we need to be attached with a rope when you mountain climb, right, and help the next person up and stuff. You know, it's going to be a climb. I get you.
Definitely. But here is another aspect of fraud that the Somalis have figured out with help, I'm sure, because these people didn't figure out all the stuff themselves. But this is in Ohio. This is another state that they're getting away with fraud. The Somalis are using fraud to get money so they don't have to, you know, so they can run their new business and make millions of dollars or whatever it is they're doing. But I want you guys to hear this. So listen to this.
More Somali fraud has been exposed out of Ohio. This is getting out of hand and they're all being exposed. Listen to this. Somalis in Ohio are allegedly running EBT fraud rings using SNAP benefits to stock their restaurants, skimming cards to make millions. More than 34,000 Ohio households have been duped out of nearly 17 million in SNAP benefits from June 2023 to December 2024, with Somali migrant criminals using skimming devices at grocery stores to clone magnetic strip cards and steal the money, according to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. In addition, a recent report details how Somali-owned restaurants and grocery stores in Columbus are exploiting benefits. According to the report, migrants own restaurants with attached grocery stores that they own. They buy their ingredients in bulk with SNAP from their grocery stores, then funnel the food to their restaurants where they sell it for cash. One report claims that the Somali migrant men who own the restaurants typically have numerous wives. That's crazy. They only have to claim their first wife so that subsequent wives are able to collect welfare benefits that are then used to prop up the stores and restaurants. This comes as of a 2022 audit of Somali Community Link, a Columbus nonprofit funded in 2020 by Somali migrants, exposed a reported $2.3 million in fraud from federal emergency rental assistance program funds. The investigation flagged missing rental aid, violations of cash management protocols, and inadequate fraud safeguards. Despite these failures, the group, tied to local politicians via campaign donations, secured $350,000 in state funding last summer for a community center, plus $100,000 from Columbus for housing and youth programs. Back in 2020, Somali brothers Hassan and Abdurrahim Noriso, former owners of Tawfiq Market in Columbus, were indicted for a 9-year SNAP and WIC fraud conspiracy totaling over $10 million. The duo allegedly swapped benefits for cash at half the value. Abdurrahim, who oversaw operations, was sentenced to 2 years behind bars. Hassan got house arrest and probation after a guilty plea. So you can defraud SNAP benefits for $10 million and you get house arrest and probation. Only if you're Somalian, I guess, because if I do that and if you and I do that, we're going to go to jail for a long, long time.
Yeah, remember it was a couple months back. We did a show and I showed how there was 2 or 3 people in one of these videos, and they showed how they use their SNAP benefits to go on cruises. So as long as we have companies that take the money from SNAP and let you spend it on a cruise or to get your hair done or your fingernails done and all this other shit, they're involved in it too. See, there's so many avenues. It's going to take a while to get them all and arrest all of them. To get all the different people that have been taking the fraud and spending it. You know, that we got drivers getting licenses by cheating. We got people working to help them cheat to get the licenses when they're not even American citizens. They can't read. You know, you got families that have come over here, they're third generation, and they still can't speak English because they never assimilate into the country. Okay. But guess what? They go to the doctor. They get paid for. They have food. They have a place to live, all on our dime. So we have got to clean house. And the only way to do that is to hold any person that is knowingly doing these things and put them in prison. The rest of them that are living in these quarters, you ship them off, get rid of them. They can't read. They don't know the Constitution. They don't understand any of our laws. Get rid of them. I don't have a problem with that. You know, I'd rather see a veteran.
Stimulate. They don't want to stimulate.
They don't. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They don't want to be. They say they want to come to America for freedom or whatever.
Well, yeah,
else.
I mean, they're in a war-torn Somalia. Of course they do. Ungrateful bastards.
Yeah. And then they defecate on the floor and wash your genitals in your sinks. So it's disgusting. You know, but it's not just one area. It's everywhere. Even though people say, oh, it's only in Minnesota, you know, because they don't listen, they don't read, they don't research, they don't want to know anything, and they go, it's in God's hands. I have so many people have told me that it's not my, it's that they don't get involved because it's in God's hands. They're just going to pray about it. Well, until your town is taken over, and then you try to be a Christian and pray, and they'll just chop your head off because you're the wrong religion.
You know, this all this shit sounds like it can be solved with about 10 or 12 javelinas and a good sharp machete, maybe a couple Husqvarnas. But I don't see a problem with that. And y'all, like, I know I sound like a dick from Texas, but I lived in that shithole called Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty okay with the change. I got to say that there's no need for panic. I mean, we can get rid of, if something were to tragically happen to 1,000 Somalis in Minnesota, you'd see the state depopulate very fast. All to be left is a bunch of white motherfuckers with Trans Ams with T-tops, big old fat mullets, and be a lot of, oh, hell yeah, brother. That's all you do. I problem solved. Problem staying solved. You guys want to bitch, or do you want to have problem solved?
There's a whole part of the political realm that would like to see things that devolve into violence. Absolutely. I mean, I know you're saying I'm not saying you're right.
You
or
want
wrong
you
about
want the
that.
problem fixed, or do you want to try to vote it out? I'm going to wait and let's go ahead. You guys.
We've already voted the plan. We just
Arm up,
need to
motherfuckers.
them arrest these people and get decent judges and fire the judges, put them in prison.
Fire! Let them swing. What the fuck is this fire bullshit?
We have got to get rid of these corrupt judges. A judge that keeps putting a criminal out on the street 75 times and they get up and go on a subway and stab a young woman in the throat, or set someone on fire, or rape someone to death on the steps of a building.
Cinnabon employee?
You know, stuff like that. That's a problem. I don't want to live in any area that has that kind of shit going on. And I want to see all of their asses in prison, given the death penalty or whatever it is. And then after they get out of their 40 years of prison or whatever, and they work their ass off, they don't get to get on the internet. They can't have a wife while they're in there. They have to actually make license plates or whatever it is. Then we ship them back to their country. Just like President Trump said, and they made fun of them. They're opening their crazy houses and their prisons and sending them to us. Well, why wouldn't they? And we're sending them millions of dollars a month to help them out because we're so generous. Wow, they're sucking us dry, all of them, and they all want us dead. They're so jealous of our freedom. They want to corrupt us from the inside out. And the Democrats and lots of fake rhinoceroses in there are doing the same thing. They're setting us up as a buffet to all these other countries to just come here and eat gluttony until they fall over.
Yeah, because they want to by design they want to what is it, reign over our decline. We had Obama tell us that a decade ago.
We are no longer a Christian nation. Remember that?
All we got to do is just start putting people in fucking wood chippers, and you'd see the system writes itself.
Well,
but y'all don't want to do that. I mean, I would love to do that. I'll be the only one, and then there'll be the fucking orange or the yellow, the red and blues, and you won't see me anymore. How dare you? You know, like that's a hate crime. But motherfuckers, if we would just get like 1,000 dead of these guys that, you know, they've been sniffing some fucking grandkids like swing or something, or they do the wrong thing in Minneapolis. They follow the wrong girl home to her dad, and the dad like, wait, what? He was doing what? He was trying to touch you, put you into a van, and no, I'm telling you, these Somalis, they're not worth a fuck. And the worst thing is that Leonardo talks about this shit later. There's a few key individuals. You're going to find out that Somalis aren't that smart. They're 65 IQ average.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more things, and then we're going to play that.
5 more boring things and good stuff. Oh, my bad.
Okay, because we're gonna do that because I'm gonna do it at the end because the last time I played a video like that off of YouTube, they turned off YouTube.
You were playing Saturday Night Live.
It doesn't matter. It was a YouTube video, and that's why I try never to do that. But that's all I have, and they're going to shut me down. But Rumble will still be up, and so will X. So that's why I'm going to do it as the last video and let everybody listen to it because it's true. All of it's true. Everything she says is true in that video, and I'm going to share the link. But YouTube is going to probably say, "Oh, F you," and shut me down. Then I'll have to edit it out at the end, and I won't be able to put it up on my channel with that. But I want to play this for everybody. This is to Pete Hegseth. It says, "Hey, Pete Hegseth, if you're watching, you got a pedo who has a secret government clearance working for you." So I wanted to play this for you so you guys can, I don't know if you've heard about it or not. It's only, half a minute long, but it's interesting. You recognize this guy?
No.
Remember, there was a TV show years ago, I think it was in the 90s, late 90s, where he would interview people that came to a house to meet a little kid. You see what I mean? They'd be talking to people online thinking they're talking to a 12-year-old or a 9-year-old, and they'd show up with condoms and booze and shit, and this guy would interview them, and then they'd be arrested. You guys don't remember him?
No.
Okay, well, that's why I wanted to show you this. This is a guy that works for Pete Hegseth, and they wanted to expose him. So here we go.
Came in. Another one who is 72 years old has a granddaughter younger than the child he was trying to meet. And Jesse, these chats were graphic. There was another fellow, 42 years old, who had a secret government clearance working for the Department of Defense. His wife is picking up one of their children in another state in Pennsylvania. He's there trying to hook up with a 14-year-old boy, and he's got a 14-year-old son.
Pete Hegseth, if you're watching, you got a pedophile potentially
and you'll
getting
see it,
paid by the Pentagon.
See it all on my streaming Prime network, True Blue, in the next few
True
weeks.
Blue
Came in. Another
True Blue is the name of his show. But the thing is, I love this guy. I've been watching him for years, and we need more of this. We need more people that are willing to do this. But man, he gets a lot of heat. Oh, that's entrapment and all this shit. Why is it entrapment if you're online and you're looking for a kid, a little boy or a young girl to mingle with? And you're talking to them and you're asking if they're home alone, and you send pictures of your genitals to them and stuff like that. Why is that entrapment? You willingly sent this stuff. You said this. Then you get in your car, you take condoms and booze and stuff, and you drive to the address that this little supposed 13-year-old boy tells you where he's at, and his parents aren't home right now. See what I mean? Why is that entrapment? You see, when this guy came in, this guy in the back here, he's going to arrest him, because as soon as he's done and this guy confronts him, they all try to run because they realize they got caught. And there's cameras, hidden cameras and stuff. So it's called True Blue. And you guys, if you get a chance, please go watch this and support this guy. He's been doing this for many, many years. I can't remember his name to save my life. I feel like shit. But Jesse put this on there. And I love Jesse. And I love people that are willing to speak out knowing they're going to get hate. You're going to get tons of hate. I get so much hate. I've got people that say they want to kill me, that they're going to slit my throat in my sleep, all kinds of shit, simply because I talk about this stuff. Okay? Because I talk about it and I think it's important. And I'm not getting paid to say it. And if somebody came to me and said, Janet, we like your show, and all you got to do is say this, that, and the other for us, and I don't agree with what they want me to say, I ain't going to fucking say it. I say what's in here. And I say it to you guys. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch me. You know, if nobody watches, I've been on a show a couple of times with 3 people. That's fine. I don't care. I'm still going to do it. You know, this is my social life right here. This is it. This is what I do. And I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it because I feel like this is what my mother would want me to do. She wants me to share the truth with people. And if people don't want to see the truth, that's not my fault. You know, it's just like,
his name is Chris Hansen.
Chris Hansen, this guy right here.
That's what Omen says.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Yeah, Chris Hansen. He's got a new show. It's called True Blue. And you guys need to check it out, because this guy has been doing this for years. And I first started following him years ago when they did the cyber stuff to, talk, to kids. These sickos are on there looking for young kids, and these people step in and keep the kids from being the one to talk to these real sick motherfuckers. I mean, they're just sick, and they need to be taken off the street. If somebody will sleep with your kid and sneak around with your kid and they're a child, they should go to prison, period. They should be out on the street.
Is prison synonymous with Husqvarna?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I just don't want them going to prison. I don't want to pay for them after they.
Well,
after we got them.
usually a lot of these people don't last very long in prison unless they send them to the coddling prison. You know, that guy that killed both his little daughters and his pregnant wife because he wanted to sleep with another woman and didn't want to spend money on losing his 2 little kids. And he suffocated them, and then he put them in those little oil tanks, and he had to stomp on their little head to get them to go down into the oil tank. He got in a special prison in Colorado because he was worried he's going to get killed after he killed 2 children and his pregnant wife. Just like, what's his face from California, Peterson, who strangled his pregnant wife so he could boff some other woman. Oh, it's disgusting. If you don't want to be married, get a divorce. That's it.
I'm trying.
Yes, I know.
I'm trying.
It's a pain in the ass. Just file and get it over with. Don't kill people to get out of a relationship. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Don't kill innocent people because you're a coward. So it's disgusting. And if they just put them in general population, we wouldn't have to worry about it. But we've gotten so many wimpy pussies in charge of running these prisons and stuff. You can't even put them out there anymore. They get in prison and they get coddled. Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to get hurt. And they get internet, and they get to have conjugal visits, and get to have, Ted Bundy had a baby while he was on death row. Isn't that wonderful? Woo! We paid for it. God, it's disgusting. So much corruption. It's been going on for a very long time. It's not just starting. And it wasn't just the last couple of administrations that's been doing it. It's been happening more and more and more. The more they get away with it, the more they do it. Just like a teenager. If you tell your teenager, don't do that anymore, I don't want to see you smoking, and you do nothing, they're going to go buy more cigarettes and hang out with their friends and smoke. I mean, it's common sense to know that people are going to do whatever they can get away with. So you got to punish them for it. That means don't give them money. They don't have any money. They don't have keys to drive somewhere to buy cigarettes, and they have to stay at home. Then they're not going to be smoking, are they? So, I mean, it's up to us. We're it.
Hold on there, Lloyd. Let me see if I can find our boy.
What's he looking for?
JD Delay. He's the head shaman of our wood chipper of our Husqvarna tribe.
Oh my God, you guys are funny. Okay, let me see.
Got 4 more items.
Oh,
Or,
here's
we're not going to get to everything.
Things. Yeah, I'm trying. Here's one. I just want to share it with you. It's nothing, no video or anything. But this is I thought this was pretty cool. The FDA intends to put the most serious warning on COVID vaccines, which are going to give it a black label. Did you guys hear about that? That came out today. They're going to get black labels. So the black box is the most serious type of warning, which highlights major risks such as serious side effects and restrictions.
Well, they're still going to push it on people.
Yeah. They're going to still give it to people that want to get it, because a lot of people have gotten 2 or 3 jabs.
Not only that, but they want to put it in beef, cattle. They want to, they want everybody to have this in their system.
I know, but if you go to the store, you should have the right to know what's in your food.
Yes.
Right? Okay. So if they make lab grown meat and it says lab grown meat on it and you don't buy it and nobody buys it, what happens? They go belly up.
Lab grown meat, it doesn't stay fresh for a while.
I know, but it goes out of business. Okay. So
I mean, that's going to be subsidized.
Just like what happened with Bud Light. What happened to Bud Light?
That's right. It's subsidized. It's well funded,
Yeah.
Yeah, but sooner or later, by us doing what we're doing right now, just like I said, week after week after week, I know it's like a broken record, cutting out the NGOs, stopping the funding to these people, because they're spending our money to fund this shit. So when our money's cut off,
that's what really gets me. They're using our own money against us.
Yeah, I know. But once we take our money back and we don't let them have it, they're not going to spend their own money.
It is tantamount to you committing suicide. Really. I mean, it's in a roundabout circular way. They're using our tax money, those of us who pay taxes, against us. That's crazy. And we saw that with Nike and other brands, that fund the left and the leftist agenda so hard. That's the irony of it. Take our money and use it against the American people. Wow. That we're funding our own demise.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. Okay, well, I got 2 more things, and then we're gonna do the video that I'm pretty sure is just gonna get us.
We're gonna do like 11 minutes plus that 24-minute video. So if you guys don't like me, I won't take any offense. That's great. But
I wish I'm broadcasting this too over on my channel. I wish you'd given me some warning about that last video that you may not care about getting kicked off for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
but I don't really want to do that,
Well, what usually happens is they tell you that that's copyrighted video. It's not exactly the content. It says that it's owned by someone else if that person makes a stink. Now, I've had other people that didn't make a stink at all. So, but if they make a stink, you just have to edit it out. That's why I always try to do it at the very end, because it's easier to just cut it out at the end, right? But it's still up on Rumble and YouTube, but you can turn it off.
I can't wait for your StreamYard to expire.
I know, I'm waiting.
It's such a faggot fucking useless service.
I got 5
Can you guys read what I just put in the chat? Because I had to put it into fucking YouTube directly. Let me see if it went through.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You guys hear about this? Yeah, this was on C-SPAN.
Fuck you, YouTube, you fucking pile of shit. Fuck you, StreamYard, you faggot fucking anti-First Amendment fucking grifting cunt.
Even though I played that at the beginning, saying that we're using it for this, we're using it to talk about it and to discuss as educational material. If they still want to throw a fit over it, then, there's nothing to do about it. I'm doing the best I can. I'm not a pro. I didn't go to college to learn how to do this. But have you guys heard about this?
No.
Okay. Well, hold on. I'm going to push it. Here we go. Oops, damn it. I thought I turned it up.
To put the public interest first, not our private financial interest. And yet time and again, we hear about members of Congress in both political parties trading stocks like that's their day job, rather than representing the constituents who should be our highest priority. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the chair and ranking member for
And there's
convening
a
us
piece
today.
of shit right there.
I call up my amendment
Yep.
off 3.
Fucking turtle.
Yep.
And folks, we have a problem, which is that members of Congress are playing the stock market while sitting in office, buying and selling shares of publicly traded stock while making decisions how to regulate those companies, while privy to confidential corporate information, while privy to confidential national security information. And it is so corrosive to public trust in this institution. The American people expect their elected representatives to put the public interest first, not our private financial interest. And yet time and again, we hear about members of Congress in both political parties trading stocks like that's their day job, rather than representing the constituents who should be our highest priority. This is not controversial among the American public. Overwhelming majorities of Democrats, independents, Republicans want to ban stock trading by members of Congress. And we've made a lot of progress in the Senate in the last couple of years building a bipartisan coalition to ban it. In fact, legislation that Senator Merkley and I have worked on with bipartisan colleagues in the Homeland Security Committee passed out of that committee for the first time with bipartisan support to ban stock trading by members of Congress. That bill still hasn't been brought to the floor. And we all know that there are private conversations with members going to folks in leadership saying they don't want it to come to the floor. We need to get this done. We have the opportunity right now in this committee to send a powerful message to the American people that we take seriously their deep concern and their justified concern about ethics in the United States Congress. My amendment is very simple. In a year's time, stock trading by senators is prohibited under Senate rules. The text of this, the assets that are covered, are all drawn from the painstakingly negotiated bipartisan legislation that's been agreed by the Homeland Security Committee.
He
This
might as
will
well be preaching
force
term
us
limits.
by a date certain to finish the job of advancing that legislation. This will give the American people confidence that we understand and we accept our job is not to enrich ourselves. Our job is to advance the flourishing and prosperity and health of our constituents. So I understand that there may be some parliamentary effort to avoid a vote on this. I know that there are senators who don't want to take a vote on this. But before we do that, Mr. Chairman, why don't we see this as an opportunity? What a great day this would be if, instead of continuing to evade this question, stock trading by senators, this committee, with its reputation for excellence, came together across the aisle and
Has it
passed
got a
this amendment.
reputation for excellence?
Ban stock
Really?
trading by United States senators.
The one
right
group
thing.
that they're talking about is
urge
the
yes
group that he's in right
Thank you,
now,
Mr. Chairman.
of the things that they've been willing to
Amendments
Yeah.
must be related to the matter under consideration, which is consistent with Committee Rule 4. Your amendment is not related to member pay during a government shutdown. As a result, the amendment falls.
Mr. Chairman, I appeal the ruling of the chair.
Is there a motion to table the appeal?
Mr. Chairman, since Senator Ossoff has appealed the ruling of the chair, I would offer an amendment that, or I would move that we table his amendment.
Is the motion to table the amendment or table the appeal?
Well, an aye vote supports the ruling of the chair. All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The
Mr.
ruling
Chairman,
of the chair.
I ask for a recorded vote.
He can't even speak. He needs to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Why am I
Roll
paying
call
for
vote,
him?
Motion to table.
Why are you paying for him?
Second.
But see, the thing is, the fact that they're doing this and it's being recorded, okay, this is evidence.
Right.
Okay. And if they don't do this, get the people to have to speak out loud so we know who said nay and who said yay, because
I agree
all the
with that.
yays, they're going to be looked at. Okay. Because that
Yeah.
means they don't want us to not be able to trade stocks while we're senators. Well, why not? Is it because you're corrupt? Is it because you're already making money off the American people's backs? You see what I mean? So I like this. But see, you're not going to see this every day on TV. No one's going to share this with you unless you're watching C-SPAN. Okay? So that's why I wanted you to see it. None of you guys knew about this, but see, this guy is showing what a real gem he is by doing what he's doing. He said that the ayes have it. Did you hear any ayes? I heard a lot of nays.
I heard a lot of nays.
Okay, so that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say. This kind of stuff getting out here is important for regular people, like people I know in my own family that just always say, oh, it's in God's hands.
$73 million
It's in
went
this
to that
man's
man.
hands. Okay, it's in these people's hands, not in God's, because on earth we have God's laws that we should do on ourselves and use in our daily lives, but we have to live amongst other people on this planet.
Absolutely. We're the
We have
tools and
laws.
instrument that God uses to affect change. Absolutely.
That's right.
Here on this.
So that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. And if you don't fill your head, the brain that God gave you, with knowledge to defend yourself and your family and your community, and then, whatever else you need to defend, then, do you really
Well,
give a
this
crap?
piece of dirt is bought and paid for by China,
Mhm,
with
that's right.
his wife's
So, and
shipping
the only
company
way
and
for a
everything.
lot of people to see that is by watching stuff like this and see how
You
he
remember when he
actually
just
does.
froze? All the times he just froze on.
Yeah, he's still doing
He's not mentally competent to be
I know.
doing what he's doing.
And
He should be.
this right
and I
here-
know we'll get rid of him soon, but it can't
Yeah,
be
but
too soon.
this right here might be one of the reasons why they say, look at him. We need to do something about him. You see what I mean? But if nobody sees it, then it's just your word that that's happening. Do you see what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
light of
why this
day.
is important. And if I already shared the thing in the chat. So please share this with other people. It's almost done. And then we're going to go on to the last video. And then Bruce is the one Bruce wants to play. So here we go.
Roll call vote. Will the clerk call the roll?
Senator Cruz.
Sounds like a seal.
Senator Capito.
What the fuck is he saying?
They're doing roll call so that
He
they have
doesn't
to
even know,
say
Bruce.
or nay.
Senator
Hey,
Hagerty.
Tommy.
Senator Britt. Senator Bozeman. Senator Padilla.
No.
Senator Schumer.
No by proxy.
Senator Warner.
No by proxy.
Senator Klobuchar. Senator Merkley. Senator Ossoff,
No.
Look at all the
Senator
numbers.
Bennett,
No.
Senator Welch, Chairman McConnell,
Aye.
the ayes are 9, the noes are 8.
Is there further debate on this motion to table Senator Ossoff's appeal? The ayes are
He's got a
9 and
handler.
the nays are 8. The motion
Well, of
to
course.
table is agreed to.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update.
Voted yay and who voted nay? All the nays were very loud, and all the yays were very quiet because they don't want people to know. I want insider trading. So that kind of stuff is very important, and that's one reason why I wanted to share it, because that is going on right now as we speak, that on a daily basis, and these people are getting away with it. Okay, with actual information to be able to go and place an offer on buying certain stocks because they know something's about to happen or not happen, you know, and that should be wrong. It should be illegal. So hopefully our president will see stuff like this and say, okay, that just happened yesterday. So maybe he can do something about it. I don't know. But the only way to stop it is by showing it to people so people know what's going on, and maybe we can make a difference and get rid of it. But here's the last, this is the last one here. It's about Black Lives Matter and stuff, but it's important too. It's more fraud from a whole different area. And I think it's important because there's tons of it. But it's coming out. And that's what's important, is it finally coming out. And more of it, more and more, day after day, shovels and truckloads of more evidence is coming out. So I think that's important because that's what they're going to use in court. Here we go.
Well, a Utah judge is setting a virtual hearing later this month.
Oh,
to
this is
decide
about
just
the
how
other
open the trial
thing
for
that happened
Charlie
today,
Kirk's
too.
assassin is going to be. As a Utah attorney tells Fox, an open courtroom presents a double-edged sword for Tyler Robinson and his defense team, as moments like this, showing Robinson smirking in court, could shape public perception, all before a jury is seated. Let's bring in New York Post columnist and Fox News contributor Miranda Devine. Miranda, good to see you.
Mm-hmm.
You too, Jackie.
So the argument here is that Tyler Robinson will potentially lose his constitutional right to a fair trial if this all plays out in public view. But there are some critics who saw his initial appearance yesterday and said that guy does not look very remorseful at all. Where do you think this goes? What are your takeaways and what you saw?
Yeah, look, it was quite repellent seeing Tyler Robinson after what he did so brutally to a young father, to Charlie Kirk, to see him smirking and laughing just a few months later in court with his lawyers. However, I mean, a fair trial obviously is important, but in this case, you have the victim's family, Erica Kirk, the young widow. She requested a camera, and his defense team does not want a camera. It's not going to affect what happens in the courtroom or how the judge is affected or any jury. It's incredibly necessary because there are these malign, malicious conspiracy theories that have spread like wildfire, some of them coming from TPUSA friends, Charlie Kirk's former friend Candace Owens, that are claiming that somehow the TPUSA team was involved in this murder, this assassination of their own friend, and that Erica Kirk herself is complicit in a cover-up. These are so hurtful, so painful, so cruel. She spoke out about them a couple of days ago to Harris Faulkner, but I don't understand why anyone would object to a camera in the courtroom to allow the public to see the truth laid out in court and put to rest these lies.
Yeah, let's play that sound. Erica Kirk, she spoke to Will Kane as well about these conspiracy theories and wanting to just put them to bed.
If you want to dig into his Discord chats or whatever that guy was involved in, I don't care. Have a heyday with that. Go right ahead. I'm not telling you to not ask questions. What this is about is the accusations that somehow Turning Point USA, my husband's team, my husband's security team, my husband's friends, my husband's employees are somehow, and myself, are somehow implicated in his murder. That's a line in the sand. Because anyone who knew Charlie and knows us, that's sick.
So Erica Kirk makes a very important point that, you know, it would be helpful to her family to have this play out because she's been suffering the consequences of this conspiracy swirling around the circumstances of her husband's death. And also, she didn't get a choice in the manner in which her husband died. It happened in a very public manner. And, you know, why should his accused killer get a choice in how his future is decided? But the other side of that question that some people are weighing is there a risk that because of the contentious environment around his death, is there a circumstance in which making this public could potentially harm her interest by, you know, allowing defense to play up favorable images of him and creating a Luigi Mangione situation where you sort of use the public spectacle to your advantage?
Well, I mean, looking at him, I don't think anyone could be sympathetic to him the way he's behaving. But apart from that, the problem is that in darkness and a vacuum, these malicious lies flood in. And so the only real way to stop people believing these conspiracy theories, you can't really stop the people who are spreading them from doing it, but you can stop gullible people and even sensible people from believing them by allowing some sunlight into that courtroom.
All right. And that decision.
Yeah, 100% agree. I forgot that's what this was about. I had chose that because I wanted to close with this because I think it's important that it's transparency. Just like I said, I think we should have cameras 24/7 in all the branches of government so that, you know, like Trump does in the White House, when he signs an executive order, he's surrounded by press. He has the people that wrote up the executive order and everything there to answer questions because he's trying to be as transparent as he possibly can about what he's doing and why he's doing it. And then all you have is the Democrats and some rhinos saying, look at Trump. He's trying to cover his ass. He's trying to do this. He's trying to do that. Well, open more windows then. Open all the windows so we can all see in. So that way, both sides have spotlights on them and we can look at anything we want, unless it has to do with, you know, the stuff like, you know, top secret stuff that has to do with the military. We have to keep our soldiers safe. And I don't agree with that kind of stuff coming out. But I just wanted to do that. So what do you guys think about the cameras in the courtroom for this trial?
Be nice.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we should do it 100%. So,
I mean, heaven forbid we keep these people accountable. You know, we only give them like what, $90 billion a fucking month to play with.
I'm sorry. Started as soon as I tried to open it up and get it ready. But yeah, this is the last thing. So, you know, if you want to shut your stuff down, Rex, you can, in case you're worried that you might, you know, have to.
I don't know how I can do that actually on my end.
Well, you just get up on your, are you sharing this on your channel right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see up there, you just disconnect it. And that way you don't have to worry about getting any emails or something in the morning or tonight.
Yeah. And I recommend get a Rumble channel, Rex, because you're going to have a lot more free speech able to happen on there, and you can say things like Mike or Walls is a little gay faggot. He's a little fucking retarded faggot in Minnesota. You can say things like that. Oh, I got another satellite watching me. Thank you, NSA.
So I'm sorry, I just now saw the private chat and took off the little.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
It looks good like for the first 20 seconds, but then like stop because I'm having a seizure.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's off now. because I just read it. But okay, so now that I have this, where is it? I'm trying to find it. I think that's it. Okay, I found it. I'm gonna go ahead and play that. But before I do it again, I'm going to play this video again. I've already played it once, but I'm gonna play it again because we're using it for discussion. So here we go. Do you think that should cover it? That's what it is. It's supposed to show that we have the right to watch this and talk about it. So there we go. We're doing it again. But here we go. I'm going to bring this up and share this because to me, it's very informative. And anyone who doesn't know about her, you definitely need to check her out. So here we go. Ready?
Welcome to the show, everybody. We've got
Pause. Okay, boost that volume.
Boost the volume. Where is it? Right here. Okay, all the way up.
All right.
Ready?
Now go.
Sorry, I was gonna look over here like I do when I start.
all those Somalian immigrants that were dropped off in Minnesota were not here making our country better. Imagine the shock. No, instead, they were here doing what Somalians do best, ripping your country off. Oh, you thought Somalians had to be on a boat in order to be pirates? That's where you're wrong. See, being a pirate is something that Somalians have been doing for generations and generations. At this point, it's so deep in their blood that they could pirate and steal and thieve right in the middle of the coldest climate in America with the nicest people who are totally unsuspecting that a bunch of people who look like this hate you and just want your money. Let's start with a scandal where it has recently been revealed that the amount of thieving that the Somalian community in Minnesota may have done could actually be about $8 billion of fraud. The Somalians, with the help of a nice white woman and probably some representatives in the Minnesota government, started a charity called Feeding Our Future, which started in 2019 and started collecting funds just a few months.
You want to pause it here?
Elected governor.
Okay.
Tim Waltz.
Now you're talking about the Meals Act in the last slide she had there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a Somali initiative, and I believe Ilhan Omar made like a couple $1 million off that. That just dumped right into some slush fund account she had.
Yep.
Never really helped out. Still have starving Somali people in Minnesota, by the way. I mean, not so many, but there's still starving Somalis in Minnesota. It's Minnesota, not Somalia. Still starving people there. How does this happen? Well, the thing is, people that are in Somalia, when they come over, they don't like leave their culture, tribe behind. Those identifying markers stay with them. And so when they get here, if they're part of the cool kids club, like Ilhan Omar's tribe, they're going to get their backs waxed and they're going to get their feed bags filled. The kids that don't have the cool kids club or rival tribe from Somalia, I don't know how they were let over here, but they are. But they're the ones that you typically see where the Somalis are like gone. They have like they have the look of a fentanyl zombie. They don't look healthy. They got the cheeks that are sunken in, and they're not going to get help because, yeah, they're over here now and they're still a minority, but they're the wrong minority. They might as well be like a well-spoken black man that's a conservative party member. They're not going to get any help.
Well, one thing I want to add before we go on to what you were just saying is when you really care about the people that you bring in over here to help train them so that they can take skills and go back to their country and train people there on how to run businesses, how to start businesses, what kind of businesses best supports whatever community they're in, things like that. Wouldn't you think that would benefit them? Because they have a country that's poor. You see what I mean? But they don't do that. They bring them here, they put them in a business, and they don't even teach them to not shit and piss all over the business. And they go up to the sinks where people wash their hands and stuff before they eat or they're preparing food, and they wash their genitals and their ass in there, stuff like that. But they don't do anything to help these people. They're not helping them learn anything. They're just letting them do whatever they did when they were over there. So they're not helping these people to go back and help themselves. You see what I mean? It's like teaching somebody, handing them a fishing pole with no bait and no hooks. You say, here you go. And they just stand there and they just keep throwing it out. And nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change because they're not learning anything. See, they're doing the same thing. Just like I said, if you don't assimilate and learn from your surroundings, you don't learn anything and you can't take care of yourself later. You're still going to sit there waiting for someone else to feed you, clothe you, house you. You see, that's the sad truth about what I'm seeing unfold in all these areas. And then you got these people wanting to have a restaurant. I don't know what food they're cooking in their restaurant, but they're using our money, our tax dollars, to buy all the product. But then they are making money for themselves off of using money from their taxes for SNAP that they didn't earn. That's not their benefit. You see what I mean? They're taking other people's benefits and using it for that. So that's another way. They're learning how to rip people off and get something for nothing.
Game the system.
Yeah, that's it. That's all they're learning. So she doesn't give a shit about her people. She doesn't give a shit about her country because she's not doing anything to help them help themselves. Jesus took them out there and showed them how to throw nets, how to weave nets, how to fish so that they take care of themselves. That's the difference. And it's pathetic and disgusting. And I played a video last night on my show with a bunch of leaders, religious leaders from the Somali community, talking about how they are sorry for what's been going on with the stuff that's coming out, and how they are apologizing, and that they're going to try to do their best to hold the people that are accountable for the fraud and the crimes and stuff like that, and help get them into the system so that they can be punished, because they don't want to be associated with that. They're here because they want to better themselves and better their people. But we'll see what happens and how it unfolds. It's a little late for that. You know what I mean? It's a little late to apologize after you've pooped and peed and did all that, and this didn't care whether people ate that or had that in that bacteria and stuff in your food and all that stuff. And who knows? I don't even know if I have any of that in my refrigerator. You know what I mean? That's what's sad and disgusting about it. At least if Bill Gates is making fake meat, he's telling everybody he's making it. He's not just pooping in it and handing it to you. You see what I mean? It's disgusting. So you want to say anything else before I push play again? On what she's talking about? Bruce? I guess not. So here we go.
Asleep.
I thought he was too stupid to run a scam, but it seems that that's all stupid people do, is steal and thieve because they can't make any money themselves.
There, that's better.
Also, we're going to do things like this. Oh yeah, I'm going to be a serial rapist who gets let out of jail after no prison time for raping a 15-year-old girl at gunpoint, then abducts another woman and kidnaps and assaults her over several days in a hotel room. And where does this happen? Oh yeah, Minnesota. Look at that name. This is so American. Abdul Muhammad. And he was free because he had a plea deal after raping a 15-year-old. Okay, please somebody tell me who in their right mind is letting this beast out on the streets. This can only be the work of demons who hate you and want to terrorize you and your children.
By the day, Kelly Loeffler, who leads the Small Business Administration, says in the 2 days her agency has been investigating the state, they've uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud just 2 days in. Several of the whistleblowers in Minnesota have also told lawmakers they believe the total amount of fraud could total up to more than $8 billion. Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch. But he says they have paused these programs. They've brought in outside auditors to get an idea of how far-reaching this fraud was. They're taking steps to keep it from happening again. And he's defending his management of the state while also taking shots at Republicans and the president.
Number one, you don't have a bunch of 65 IQ Somalian pirates coming up with this multi-billion-dollar scheme without any help with some higher IQ and people higher ups. Okay, so let's just cut the bullshit over here. Second of all, even if you didn't know, even if this absolute down of a person didn't know, that's enough evidence that you have no business being the governor. This happened under your watch. What CEO would be able to keep his job if he lost his company $8 billion through fraud? It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter what you said. No, oh, I didn't know. Okay, that ignorance is not a defense. And this guy should go. I don't understand. The only way he could really be being reelected is straight up rampant fraud, which is something we know they do, because even though they're saying there's no way, they also told us about Obamacare, right? That illegals can't get Obamacare. And then when they looked at it, they found that 1 in 3 subsidy recipients, that's $21 billion total, used Social Security numbers that didn't match IRS records. What does that mean? They were fake applicants, and yet they got approved. But they want you to know that, oh, no, that doesn't happen. So imagine these people are voting. So this is when the scandal kind of came out a little while ago. I'm going to go ahead and play this. It was estimated at $250 million, but now they're saying it's probably upwards of $1 billion, maybe even $8 billion.
A $250 million fraud scheme. Already 77 people, many of them Somali immigrants, have been charged in one of the largest taxpayer-funded scams in U.S. history. Minnesota, home to the largest Somali community in America, has become the center of this massive investigation. This is the Feeding Our Future scandal, a pandemic-era scheme in which defendants allegedly stole over $250 million meant to provide meals for low-income children. Instead of feeding kids, prosecutors say the money went toward
that white woman was the Amy Bach. Okay, she's part of this, but I still don't think she's the mastermind. Actually, I think she was an integral piece to this, but not the mastermind.
Prosecutors say the money went toward luxury homes, high-end cars, jewelry, overseas transfers, and an entire network of shell companies. According to the DOJ, the conspirator...
Shell companies. Does that sound like something a Somali would be able to figure out how to do? Let's think about this, guys. Seriously, their IQ is so low, they can't consider a hypothetical scenario. Like, how would you feel if you didn't eat breakfast today? And you're going to tell me that they can figure out how to do a multi-million, upwards of billion-dollar scheme, creating shell companies to hide?
Damn it. See, one thing I want to say about that is because of this and them digging this deep, knowing about the shell companies and stuff, it's going to find out who's benefiting. That's so simple. Just like remember what Elon said earlier when we were talking about the Social Security fraud, right? He was saying that it was simple as this: make one phone call the person who says that they're 211 years old and ask them, what's your birth date? We want you to prove to us with a birth certificate what your birth date is so we can prove that you're 211 years old.
Are they doing that, though? Are they doing that?
Yeah, Doge was doing it. But see, look who's been bitching and moaning about it, and they're cutting it off. They're cutting off these people. But
we did all the Doge things, but then what happened after Doge?
That's what I'm saying. It's all still going on.
We got the list. We got the turtle on there receiving $73 million. He was right at the top of receiving criminal money, and yet he's still up there. Oh, yays, nays. Nothing's happening.
Not yet. That's all. That's why I'm trying to say. I'm trying to be positive about it, but nothing's happened yet. But it's so deep. Just like I said, look at all just tonight from the few little snippets that we've played. How many levels? How many different states that all this corruption is going on?
Oh yeah, and that's tied to immigration. Hello, Somali immigration, concentrated.
Yeah, and there's that's just a small portion of it, Somalians. Then we also have other people that over the border. So the thing is that it's so deep and there's so much of it, but we have more and more and more people like this lady that we're playing tonight that are coming forward and talking about it, trying to explain it and giving you the common sense thought of how could they think this stuff up? If you just brought them from Africa, right? Or Somalia, whatever.
They don't know how the system works. They had to be pointed in the. They had to be guided and have a handler.
Different, yeah, just like she said, in different areas, and tell them each of them, this is your job, this is you, blah 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 blah. And as long as you do these things, we will give you a place to live and you have food to eat. See,
right, and vote Democrat.
And then also.
Who's Tim Walz? He's not only the governor, he was the vice president running mate of Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and they're also, all these people are going out and they see a young girl walking down the road, and in Africa or wherever they come from, Somalia, they can just walk up and rape that girl because they have the
Somali
right.
pirates even vexed the third president, Thomas Jefferson. We've been dealing with their dipshit stuff for centuries now.
But see, the fact is that whoever decided this was a good idea because they're going to make money off of it didn't care about the people that were going to suffer at the hands of all these Somalians being right next door, across the street, whatever, from
the clip you played where he's addressing the turtle and all the other senators, and he's talking about ethics. Yeah. Wow. They have no clue. They laugh at words like that. Virtue.
And he knows he's lying. See, that's what's the hardest part to deal with, is to know that they know that these people, the people that are involved just in this little thing that she's talking about with the Somalians in Minnesota, they know, the people that brought them in know that these people are raping people, robbing people, assaulting people, but they don't care. They're still making too much money off because it isn't their child, it isn't their grandchild, it isn't their daughter or their sister or their wife that's getting assaulted. It's someone else's, so they don't give a shit. That's what really hurts the most. I would, if I saw something happening in the parking lot, I'd probably get the crap beat out of me, but I'd run over and try to help. I would call 911 or whatever.
That's what I'm saying, earlier, is that, when it touches your family, that's when you get involved. Really? No. When you see this rot in America, you call it out way before it reaches your front doorstep. If you don't, it will eventually affect you.
Yeah, it's already affecting us. It's affecting our country.
It is.
And you think it's bad?
Billions of dollars worth.
Just imagine what it's like right now in England, in London. I mean, it's
stabbings are up 1,300%.
That one video I shared, it showed a guy walking his dog, and Muslims hate dogs. Dogs are unclean, blah blah blah, like pigs or whatever, cloven hooves or whatever. And the guy was stabbed 40 times because he was walking his dog, and they killed the dog too.
And they killed the dog, yeah.
So it's pathetic. But here we go.
The money. No. Now, I can believe that they spent it on a bunch of luxury vacations and cars and homes because they are still, after all, black.
Submitted fake invoices, fabricated meal counts, and even staged photos to make it look like they were serving millions of meals that never existed. In some cases,
that's why you had the white lady in there. The white lady's in there setting it up, saying, got to do a photo shoot, guys. We got to make this look real. Remember, starving kids. Get the Somalians in here. There's no way. There's no way that they would have been able to figure this out on their own. Somebody is behind this.
They claimed to feed more children than lived in entire neighborhoods. A federal jury found Amy Bach, the founder of Feeding Our Future, and Salim Ahmed Saeed guilty of conspiracy, bribery, wire fraud, money laundering. Federal officials say more arrests may still be coming.
And then this guy.
Tonight, another man charged in the Feeding Our Future meal fraud case. A man federal prosecutors say played a big role in funneling millions of dollars.
I mean, guys, seriously, look, just let's take a look at this, huh?
And same thing through Black Lives Matter.
Like a mastermind of a $1 billion scheme. And I know you're like, oh, Leonardo, that's just like one Somalian. They don't all look like that. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They all have that light bulb head. I don't know why they have so much space in their cranium, because they clearly don't have a brain and know how to use it. Because if you did, you'd be like grateful that this country took you in, and you're like, how do I become a good citizen so I don't have to go back to that shithole that I left? But no, you're Somalian, so you can't help but literally do everything that made Somalia a shithole wherever you go. And this is what I believe is the great awakening that's happening with normal, average Americans are starting to understand and wake up and go, oh, I got it. It's not like there's something magically happening in that country that's making it a shithole. It's you people. And if we take you shitty people out of this one shitty country and we put you in another place, you're going to make that new place the same way as the shitty place we moved you from. If you take lions and you take them out of the African safari and you put them in the plains of America, guess what they're going to do? They're going to still do lion shit. This is a metaphor. Are you tired of going to a bookshop, seeing a bunch of gay shit written by women, for women and gay dudes? And you're like, God, why is everyone gay? Can't I just read some masculine shit? AntelopeHillPublishing.com has what you need.
It's her ad, so I'm gonna fast forward a little bit through here real quick. Okay, here we go.
They're lucky. And then as their population outgrows the native population, they have more political power. And then they can enact legislation that exclusively benefits Somali people. And the money that's not exclusively for them, they can just steal it through fraud. And the more money they get, the more they send back to Somalia, because that is their goal. You heard the guy say it at the Ilhan Omar rally. But speaking of Ilhan Omar, someone who openly hates America and declares her allegiance for a foreign country, here she is going to a church and berating a bunch of white people for liking Charlie.
I do believe those of you who are interested in rewriting this hateful man's history are full of shit.
This woman shouldn't be able to walk the streets of our country. You understand? Never mind, stand in front of a pulpit and tell these people, look at these white people, how evil and horrible they are because they like a man named Charlie Kirk who loved his country and believed that demographics were destiny. Yeah, pointed to the countries with the wrong demographics and saw their destiny, and have labeled him hateful because it's a way to knock down your defenses so you cannot defend yourself against her and her brother and her other Somalians that she's probably all related to.
Easiest way is to declare war on the third fucking world. If it comes to your fucking neighborhood, you introduce it to Huska fucking Vara. That's what you fucking do. You get rid of it. Here's some bacon. Oh, you're now invalid. Get in the goddamn wood chipper. Fuck you. Fuck everything about you.
Yep. Are you done?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm just channeling my anger at my cunt wife that I've got. She just cost me another $318 fucking dollars because she can't remember where she puts her keys at, and then it's $500 in 2 fucking weekends.
Yeah, buy her a necklace and have her clip it to her
I'm not
neck.
gonna buy her goddamn thing again. She's over. I got her fucking paperwork. I'm done. I'm done with this dumb fucking bullshit. I don't care if your mind is Swiss cheese. Go get the fuck out of my life.
No.
Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I meant every fucking word I said.
Well.
That was from the heart, guys. You'll never have a more honest moment.
I have to edit that for YouTube, which is a good time for me to remind you that if you go to my website, leonardaisfunny.com, you can register for free and get on my newsletter so you can hear all about my new developments, new tours, new content. Stay in the loop. And if you are so inclined where you're like, hey, I love Leonardo content. I want more Leonardo content. I want uncensored Leonardo content about things that will get me banned on this channel. Then you're going to go ahead and click to premium membership and sign up for my premium monthly membership, where you will have access to exclusive content that does not get posted anywhere else, as well as exclusive live streams for members only, a Telegram and Discord group chat, all that fun, wonderful stuff. It's gotten so bad. Trump's, seems to be back in his element about this. I'm not sure what's going on because he's let us down quite a bit with some of his other stuff. But with the Somalian stuff, he's really been calling it out. I mean, he called Tim Walz a retard. He got all butthurt about it. It's like, well, then don't be a retard, Tim. It's pretty simple. And he goes off about the Somalians. And of course, everybody wants to clutch. You know what's so interesting, though, is like people really aren't even clutching their pearls as much as they used to, where we'd be so abhorred at saying anything that sounds even remotely racist. Like, remember when he called like Haiti and some other places shithole countries back in like 2016? And then that was all over the place. And everybody was like, oh my God, it's so horrible. This didn't even really make the news. I mean, they tried to make it a thing that Somalians were garbage people. And everybody was like, yeah, you are. Look at Somalia. Look at what you've done in Minnesota. Look at all the money you've been stealing. Yeah, I think calling you garbage people is less offensive than you literally robbing this country and turning it into a shithole.
Somalians ripping off that state for billions of dollars, billions, every year, billions of dollars, and they contribute nothing. The welfare is like 88%. They contribute nothing. I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you. Somebody say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country. Their country's no good for a reason. Their country stinks, and we don't want them in our country. I could say that about other countries too.
See that? Trump is slowly approaching the people are the ones who determine the state of the country. It's not some magical thing that befalls them. And you know this because wherever they go, they recreate the same shitty state of the country they were in, except it's worse because they're even stealing our money and still not creating anything.
The country still, we don't want them to hell. We have to rebuild our country. You know, our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where...
How can Omar put her hand on the Bible or whatever and take an oath to take office when she's already stated many times that she cares more about Somalia than she does about America and the Constitution? How is that legal? How can that not be treason? I'm asking you.
I'm just saying that we have numerous instances where she's on camera saying both of these things.
I know.
So we know what we get with her. It's just, do we have the fortitude to do the right thing and prosecute? And if we don't,
trying to understand why hasn't anyone in their state brought charges up against her to have her taken out of office simply for the fact that she's not holding up the Constitution of their own state, let alone the United States of America? I don't understand. Where are the people? You know what I'm saying?
I get it. I just don't know where they're at.
I don't understand that. There's got to be other people in their state that were born and raised for generation after generation in America and love their state, farmers or whoever they are, but they're not, none of them are saying anything. I haven't heard a single person come forward and say, hey, I want her taken out, or any person in office saying we need to have her taken out of office because she's pledged allegiance to another country, not America. Period. It's that simple. She's gone. It makes no sense. I don't understand it.
If you can find a way to help it make sense, that'd be great. I'll be here.
I can't.
But I'm very certain that it doesn't make sense for a reason. We're not part of the popular club. We're just some hicks out in the sticks. I'm in the wild west town of San Antonio that they never take us seriously here. And you're in a state. How many times does your phone get disconnected driving home? Wait, every time.
Every
time.
Because it's bad service. It's big patchy areas because it's very rural.
I mean,
that's
it'll be
why
great.
This whole AI stuff that people keep saying is going to happen. It's going to be out where I'm at. That most people aren't even going to be affected by AI because there just isn't. It's just there's nothing. You know what I mean?
Well, here's something that I found disturbing. My parents live in rural Illinois in Logan County, and there's a jackass in the governor's chair, Pritzker, that's talking about how he's going to put in a whole bunch of brand new data centers in downstate. Downstate Illinois is going to get data centers. In little 500 and 1,200 person communities, there's going to be a data center with new jobs available and such. But now the electricity is going to go up Now the water is going to be completely used and used up. They have no idea what they're doing with this AI data center bullshit. And yet you're just going to pay for everything, you little pay pigs.
Well, what's going to be funny is this. Okay, when a movie company comes into your state, because they're going to make some movie that might be a blockbuster, and your state's going to reap the reward of all the money from that they're spending while they're making their film in your state, right? But the thing is, they're going to hire people to, as extras and stand-ins and electronic people, wardrobe, makeup, all that, right? No, that's not what happens. They bring in almost everybody they need, right? Except for the extras. That's it. So you might get property rental and a few other things, but that's it. It's not like what you think it is. They basically bring their own people in. So when you have all this stuff going on with these data centers, do you honestly think they're going to hire some tech guy from this city when they got all this money spending on their equipment? No, they're going to bring in their own people from wherever they're at.
Some guy that goes and that's going to be it. You're going to have a completely nepotized fucking IT division.
Anyone that's trying to tell you that it's going to be booming and it's going to make this, that, and the other grow, it isn't. They're going to bring people in and then they're going to give them a place to live or whatever else, that kind of stuff. But it's not going to add thousands of jobs to your town or your community because they're going to bring your own people to run their stuff.
It's coming out of J.D. Pritzker's mouth. I'm pretty certain there's not a shred of fucking actual factual evidence in there.
Yeah.
Everything he said so far has been kind of hogwash. I mean, he does look like that extra guy from Analyze That, Jelly Donut. That guy. Mm-hmm. He's like the Illinois version of that if he was a governor. Fuck them. Fuck J.D. Pritzker. And no offense, but if you're there like cheering on AI, fuck you too. John Connor hopes you get cancer.
Well, Tim Walz, I mean, dresses up in a diaper and goes on a parade rant. Absolutely, we can't get rid of some of these deviant motherfuckers that would sleep with your children, your grandchildren.
I wish I had money so I could get a group of people like you guys, you two, and get a bus, an RV or whatever, go to Minnesota and just go from one door to the other or from one small town to the other and ask, did you vote for Tim Walz? And what is it about him that you love? Why would you vote for him? Why did you vote to have these things happen? I'd like to find out from the people of the state who voted for him and why. What was it that he offered that you think is really helping your state? I would like to find out because honestly, I don't hear anybody complaining. So apparently most of the state agrees with what's going on in their state. They don't care if they have to work.
Yeah, it's easy to say that. A lot of people do things out of ignorance,
So the whole state's ignorant? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I'm not saying it doesn't have to be so far on this side or so far on that side.
We're going to have to go to Hennepin County. We'll have to go to Hennepin County. Where are the people
talking bad about it?
You can go and you can see how everybody voted by county online here in Arkansas. I mean,
yeah,
you can get that information from Minnesota right now. It's online. You can get a lot of that stuff without going door to door.
Yeah, but that's great. But I'm just talking about, I would like to see the look on their face and just talk to them to find out if they feel that this person has done a good job running their state and if they say yes, I want to say, well, what did he specifically do that you think is the best? Is it helping the jobs? Is it help, your school system, all these things as parents and the next generation or two that's being raised there, I don't see
I'm in a union and I'm told how to vote. And if I don't vote that, then I lose my job, Janet. You'll get some of that too up there.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
I'm in
And
a union.
I know a lot of those people. I've seen them
Yeah.
in Arkansas, depending on
Oh, yeah.
what company they work for.
Arkansas is not, I mean, we've still got China, over here,
Mhm.
investing in Arkansas land and businesses and stuff. Yeah.
Well,
and
they
that,
can't
as
purchase
we
the land
applaud
now.
them coming in, yay, this is going to create 1,200, 1,500 jobs. Yeah. But it's going to benefit China more than it does us in the long
Yeah,
run.
see, that's what
Through those
if
jobs.
if you got a chance and they come and they say that at your city council meetings or whatever, and say they're going to do this, that, and the other, and open this plant, and they're going to build whatever it's going to give jobs. That's when you ask, well, who's going to run the plant? Where are they going to hire the people? Are they bringing their own people in to run everything and just hire a few underlings? You know what I mean? That having people at the city council meeting actually ask questions to the city council will go, is this really what we want? But they're going to say yes, because it makes them look really good that they got some company to come in that says they're going to spend this many millions. You see what I mean? So a lot of people, even good
Well, now
church going
see,
people,
you're
will
striking on
spend.
something here that needs to happen in all 50 states on the
Yeah, I know.
local level, at the city council level.
I always say that.
If we
It
don't
starts
take back
locally.
and we don't challenge the city councils that
Yep.
lord over us in many instances,
Mhm.
if we don't fix it on a local level, we'll never finish, on a state or a national level.
Yeah,
We've
and that's
got
what
to
I've always
start with
said.
our own backyard.
That's right. Our own towns. If we take back our own towns, we take back our state, it's not owned by the federal government anymore. See what I mean? It all works that way. That's why our forefathers were geniuses when they came up with the whole thing about each individual state having their own constitution.
Yeah,
If
and having
Colorado says I can smoke this joint and I'm standing outside my house smoking a joint, the federal government can't raid me
and
and
giving
arrest
the
me for
state
having this one
rights,
joint.
giving the states more power,
Mhm.
theoretically, right?
Yeah.
Than the federal.
Yeah. And that's the way that they wanted it, because they didn't want to end up like what they had left in Europe to come here.
Absolutely.
So it does work. We just have to clean it up, get as much of this corruption out as we can, and start prosecuting people, and constantly do that. You know what I mean? We got to keep up the laws in every state to make sure that the people that are bringing corruption in your state or your towns, that you arrest them, you hold them accountable, and let other people see it. That's why they used to hang them and leave them hanging in the middle of the city town, right? It's so that people could see them and say, wow, I don't ever want to get caught doing that.
Absolutely. Or the
Stealing horses or whatever.
stockades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing. So it did work for a very long time, but people thought that was inhumane. So now we're getting right back to it's just everywhere you look, it's corruption. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah. You can't look in any direction and not see corruption.
All right,
Here we
roll
go.
that bean footage. Let's finish.
They came
this
from,
shit show.
they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Thank you very much.
Even
And
in the
people
heart
say that sounds
of
harsh.
the liberals in
It
Minnesota,
isn't.
I can guarantee you that they're listening to that going, please, somebody do something. Just don't make me say it publicly, because I don't want to be accused of being racist and get attacked, because that's what being accused of being racist is. It's a signal to all the other non-whites that you are a fair target to be killed and crushed, and nobody should feel any remorse. You think I'm lying? Take a look at this recent situation that happened. In Portland, a certain Gary Edwards, 43, was charged with second-degree assault for stabbing a man in Portland near a light rail, public transportation. This is why we can't have nice things. On July 8th, he was found not guilty on October 31st after the jury learned the victim was using racial slurs in the aftermath of the altercation. You guys get this? The black guy stabs the white guy before the white guy says the magical word that makes you an evil Nazi and it's okay to kill you because you're not human anymore. So he hasn't said the word yet. He stabs him. Then, in a gut reaction, because he literally just got stabbed, the white guy calls him the magical no-no word. And then the Portland jury, which is probably a bunch of who look like this are like, oh, well, in that case, you should have just killed him. You're free to go, which makes me hope only that this man will find every single one of these jurors and personally thank them with, the way he acts. If you want to know why they call you racist, it's because it's a way to signal to everybody else you're fair game and nobody should feel bad about attacking you and targeting you.
The mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Frey, is saying that he's actually proud to have the largest Somali community in the country, and his police chief.
Well, then he's a fool.
Well, his police chief is also saying.
You guys want to know who Jacob Frey is? No problem. I'm so happy. I'd be really happy to show you guys who Jacob Frey is. You guys remember this? Remember this guy who was crying at the coffin of George Floyd, that performative thing? That's Jacob Frey. And just a little bit to know about Frey. Apparently, he's from Arlington County, Virginia. I wonder if that has something to do with him being so pro-Somali, such that he actually even spoke Somali in front of them like a moron. There's actually, let's see this video.
That's not what we are about.
You're not American. You're not American.
We're going to do right by every single person in our cities.
Pause it real quick.
To our Somali
Yeah,
are you going to do right by the girl who got
on the show? This
Okay.
actual video.
That motherfucker right there beat Omar Fateh. If you do a search on Omar Fateh, he looks like the guy that told Tom Hanks, "I'm the captain now." He beat Fateh because Fateh is a member of a tribe that might not be too well liked in Somalia. But he came over here thinking that he could change things for himself and his tribe. And Omar Fateh got beaten by that motherfucker that's impersonating someone who gives a shit. So that's what I'm going to say. He played the game. He did really good. Omar, not smart enough to outwit somebody from another country that doesn't have a national standard of 65 IQ. All right, go ahead, roll tape.
Okay, here we go.
After you let a Somalian go from jail because it would have been racist or I don't know, whatever reason, you can't do right by every single citizen. Because if you do right by criminals, you essentially, by definition, do wrong to their victims.
Daman Shabka, Somaliyed, Kunul, Minnesota, Garahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Kuji, Janila High, Waan, Ku, Gereb, Taganhan.
You saw that guy's face there? He's like, what the hell is he doing? You know, the funniest thing about this whole thing is that Somalians don't even have the IQ to appreciate your attempt to pander to them. They're just looking at you. Once again, they're like hyenas who are looking at a lion who's come to supplicate the hyenas like, you're pathetic. Like, we're supposed to be afraid of you. And you're here asking us in hyena to vote for you? We're going to destroy you. We're going to tear you limb from limb. And when you say, wait a second, I was speaking hyena to you, we're going to say, well, we're hyenas. We do what hyenas do. It doesn't matter if you try to speak hyena to us. We know you're not one of us.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. Look.
I mean, let's just listen to that. That's 100% right.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other.
It's 100% right. One of the things Somalians are doing since they've been called the garbage people is showing videos of how great their country is. And everybody's like, okay, if it's so great, like, why don't you live there, right? So, like, this was one of the videos they showed, right? It's the Somalian beach. Waters look beautiful. You know what the problem with this is? That right there. That the surround tons of Somalians. And you know what else happened is, when they had some royalty that was coming onto the beach and the guards just went out and started shooting indiscriminately at the beach, ended up killing one of the young boys. So yeah, he's right. Because they have no theory of mind. They have no foresight. They have no ability to plan. That's not a nation. You don't have a country. That's why you have to come here and get elected in elections that you fake over here because you don't even have elections to fake over there. I'm with Trump on this. Now, here's where I'm starting to say this is bigger than some retarded white liberal chick who finds herself engaged in a multi-billion-dollar scam. Ilhan Omar is the one who introduced the bill that Somalians in Minnesota used to steal, well, now they're saying over $1 billion from American taxpayers. It was called the Meals Act. So of course she had a role in this. There is no way under any circumstances that this was concocted by these foreheads. No way. And I'm pretty sure she was helped along the way, because here was a whistleblower in the Minnesota Department of Human Services employees that broke the news that Tim Walz himself is directly responsible for the hundreds of $millions in Somalian immigrant fraud. And that account since then has been suspended, which this has got to be something that's going on behind the scenes, because I can't imagine that this would be something that Elon Musk would want covered up. So let's read what they said before they got banned. Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let Tim know of fraud early on, hoping for a partnership in stopping fraud. But no, we got the opposite response. Oh, that's usually what happens when someone's guilty. Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers using monitoring, threats, repression, and did his best to discredit fraud reports. Instead of partnership, we got the full weight of retaliation by Tim Walz, certain DFL members, I don't know what that is, if you guys know what that is, and an indifferent mainstream media. It's scary, isolating, and left us wondering who we can turn to. See, that's the irony, right? Nobody cared about the story until Trump called the Somalians garbage people. Then, of course, the left-wing media goes into a spiral, and everybody's like, oh, I'm so glad you brought this up. Here's $8 billion of missing money that they stole because they're pirates.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
How does $8 billion just go missing, right? You're supposed to have people who are doing some oversight, seeing what's going on. Well, if you appoint the people and you tell them, yeah, this is supposed to be happening, just ignore it or make it look good. That's how you can continue a fraud since 2019. So now 6 years of just scamming and getting tons of money, because every time you ask for money, which is what they were doing, asking for grants and federal funding, it has to get approved, which means you have to show documentation that it's legitimate. Well, that documentation is going to show fraud. But if your oversight committee is your own people, then yeah, you're going to miss it.
We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication.
Programs, especially in behavioral health and disability services, were built without any guardrails against fraud. Oh yeah, that was one of the other ones, right? Somalians all claim that their kids are autistic, and no one can ever call them out on it because they're Somalian. Yes, I did say that, and I don't care. Leadership did not want to appear to discriminate against certain communities and were unwilling to take action such as stopping fraud. That would have had an adverse impact on their image. See, so even if they're not in on it, they don't want to admit it, because now everybody goes, hey, look how shitty the Democrats are. Look how shitty Tim Walz is. Look how shitty this whole leadership is. Maybe, just maybe, we should vote for Republicans, because they care about the citizens, supposedly. Even they, just don't get in the way of that one particular country. It's structure created and maintained by Tim Walz, who has created an environment of interrelated agencies and institutions, including the media, that help foster fraud through retaliation and turning a blind eye in exchange for political gain in the form of higher power agency leadership jobs. So they're doing basic nepotism in a different way, though, where you're DEI shit, you're unqualified. But hey, if you go with the scam, which is probably what all these DEIs are supposed to be, which is probably why Ilhan Omar is here. She's going with a higher level scam. You think that her hearted brain could come up with this stuff? No. She's an actor, dude. She's part of this. Was she happy to see the American empire crumble? Of course, because she's full of envy, resentment, and hatred in her heart. Anyone with eyes to see can see these demons for what they are. So that account got suspended after that. And, what is Tim Walz? What is he concerned about? He's not concerned about the billions of dollars missing. He's concerned about...
I've never seen this before. People driving by my house and using the R word in front of people.
Yeah, you deserve way worse than that. There's more, right? The Minnesota Attorney General, Keith Ellison, was caught on tape pledging to help Somali fraudsters in exchange for campaign donations. What do you know? A nice old little kickback program. Everybody's getting in on it. How do I start my own scam? That's what I want to know. Help me start the Feed the Poor Albanian Children scam. And I'm just going to take millions of dollars, and then I'm going to go live like a fat king. I'm going to go live like this guy. I'm going to go live like this dude, this African president. He became the president of the Central African Republic, I guess the emperor. You can't be an emperor if you're in Africa. Sorry to tell you that, buddy. He had them make him a 2-ton gilded throne and pearl-laden toga. And apparently he cooked and served the French dignitary human flesh. What do you know? I mean, man-made horrors beyond our comprehension, although you might, contest whether this is a man. This is why you can't put Black people in charge of anything, okay? Because they will never be able to outgrow their desire for bling. So, of course, this fetal alcohol syndrome looking thing wants to come out and be in support of the immigrants in Somalia. Now, you might ask yourself, why would a Pramila Jayapal, who's clearly not Somalian Indian, support a totally different population when Indians are super racist against Black people? They're racist against their own Indians who are just tanner than them, never mind a straight up Somalian. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if there's anybody else who's doing fraud in this country, once we start to unravel it with the Somalians, you're next, Priya.
The majority of Americans across the country, regardless of political party, know that immigrants from all over the world, Somalia, India, wherever they're from, Latin America.
See, Somalia, India, I'm gonna throw another one in there. Latin America,
Africa, that immigrants have built this country and make this country what it is today.
Nice. So first of all, don't you like that a person who looks like this, literally looks like a cartoon character who just got hit in the head with a frying pan, is telling you what you as Americans believe, what your ancestors built was built by her people who can't stop getting hit by trains? Don't you love that? Aren't you sick and tired of this already? How much more are you going
I remember
to take?
I saw
That's
that
the
video.
question. Because this isn't going away. This isn't going to stop. You're not going to talk to these people. You're not going to reason with them. You know, you may be able to wrestle political power if you can stop the rampant fraud, but it's so ridiculous. I mean, even Trump, who's recognizing it, I don't know that he's even able to do much in this scenario. So short of a full-scale overthrow, it's disgusting. They come in here, they change the Minnesota flag so that it straight up looks like the Somali flag. They tried to tell you, oh, look, Minnesota Democrats condemn unhinged state flag conspiracy theory. They changed the Minnesota flag. Let's see what the old Minnesota flag looked like. There it was, right? That looks like something a white person would make. Let's see what the new Minnesota flag looks like. That looks like something a 65 IQ would make. Color, and then another color, but don't too many color. It's confusing. Now let's go see the Somalian flag. You're in a full-scale invasion by 65 IQ people who hate you. And then while she's telling you that your country ain't shit, she's over here telling, here we go, let's just watch this.
Somalia was Somali. Somalia was how?
Somalia is for Somalians only, but America is for everyone. You can just hear, she's talking to, because even though she's like super important to them, you hear them all chit-chatting, right? This is what happens with low IQ people. They don't pay attention when there's a speaker. They think that their stupid conversation about like, which child they want to abduct is more important than whatever she's saying right now. How do we arm Ethiopia and Kenya? Like, I didn't think I was going to become pro-Ethiopia and Kenya, but I think I might be right now. Throw the whole thing away. What a piece of shit this one is. Here's the good news, guys. Apparently, Somalia is a beautiful country with lovely beaches, and the president of Somalia says it's perfectly safe. So you guys can all go home now. Nobody's bought. You guys can go home, go to Somalia, and have your ethnic wars and destroy each other and get out of America.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious. But yeah. She was hilarious.
It's my future second
The thing
ex-wife.
is, what did she say that wasn't real? That wasn't true?
I didn't hear any untruths there.
I didn't either. I'm still flabbergasted that we haven't seen a huge uprising from the people that were there before the Somalians were brought in.
Do you really want Minnesotans uprising?
I mean, I'm just saying, I don't hear anyone bitching and moaning that they're ruining our state. You know what I mean?
Okay. Those guys are working their ass off right now. They're at work. Why? Because they're waiting to have days off during deer season. And if they work now, they don't have to work during then. If they have to fucking get upset about something, you're going to cause a bit of a problem because we're going to have somebody stand around and kind of just maintain eye contact and location on all these hunters and outdoorsmen that are naturally from Minnesota that like to be patient and be lethal. And you want them to go up against the non-native population.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is a good idea because we're gonna miss out. We're gonna lose an entire population of people if that happens. I will bet with the hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody for hanging out with us tonight. It was very informative.
Can I share something with you?
Yeah, but just before you do that, I wanted to let Rex tell us what's going on with his channel this week. Anything special coming up?
Rex, you there, buddy? There you go.
I'm here. My dog's hacking. That's why I was muted.
Okay.
Coming up. Well, I will be on the mic stand. Mike Walters was in here first day of winter, the 21st. This week, just Feature Friday, we're going to be talking about Dave Stevens' artwork, and then we'll round out the year on the 26th talking about George Perez's art in comics. So that's about all we've got scheduled right now, although I've got some interviews coming up with some other creators. We talk comics,
really
pop culture, stuff like that. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so now, Bruce, what were you wanting to say?
I got something to share. I want to introduce you to a friend of ours named JD DeLay.
This guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. Go ahead.
Here's a festive Christmas story. This is Santa Mark. He's a Santa Claus for hire, and he's also a teacher. And Santa Mark was just arrested on charges for child pornography. Yeah, he has multiple charges that are so bad that if I actually read them on this video, they would take the video down. And all of this happened in the state of New Jersey, where he is facing a staggering 5 to 10 years if convicted. Zero, I think he needs the wood chipper. What do you think? Zero says you need to get in the fucking wood chipper, Santa Mark. Here's a festive Christmas story.
That's JD DeLay. He's part of the wood chipper crew. We need more men in the wood chipper crew.
Yeah, you mentioned his name quite a few times.
Because he's right.
Well, is there anything you would like to let everybody know that's coming up this weekend for your channel, Bruce?
Well, tomorrow I plan on running my D100 game that I've been enjoying the shit out of. Looking like it's going to be a interesting day. Hopefully we receive no visits from Methany. I don't want her to join. I don't want her to be part of it. She's already been part of this weekend enough, and now I have to stay home and eat ramen thanks to her. Bitch. So I plan on running my game tomorrow, and then on Sunday. Do you like movies? Me and Janet have a Sunday show called A Girl, a Guy, and a Movie. And on this coming Sunday, all right, kids, Gen X, are you there? I need you to show up because Janet's never seen Megaforce with Barry Bostwick.
No, I haven't seen
the same week as Delta Force. So if you only had $4 allowance back in 1982, I know you went and saw Chuck Norris, but Megaforce, oh my God. This is going to be a gloriously bad schlocky movie, and I can't wait for it. It's going to be one of the worst movies that I will rate double what Janet rates, because I know Janet. And I was very surprised last week. We had a very schlocky movie.
It was good.
Denise Richards and Paul Walker were in it. The Tanny and the teenage T-Rex.
Yeah.
And I was very surprised. It was actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
For what it was. Yes, Owen Screaming Graven. This is the one with a flying motorcycle. Yes, it is. It's Barry Bostwick. Deeds, not words. Back to you, Janet.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And if you would like to join us, send me a DM on X or on my Discord if you're already a member over there. And I will invite you and you can come watch the movie with us because we usually start around 12:30 in the afternoon on Sunday. And we watch the movie, and then after we watch it, we talk a little bit about it, and then we will do the review. So if you want to join us, just send me a message, and it'll be fun. But
it is an interesting thing because we got Hal Needham, who was a stunt director and a NASCAR team owner, and he was usually there whenever you saw the mustache Burt Reynolds himself being around. But somebody thought, this guy did really good with Smoking the Bandit, and Hooper, and Cannonball Run. Let's just give him the director's chair. So let's go watch it on Sunday. I can't wait.
Yeah,
There's
it's gonna
never
be
been
fun.
a hero like superhero Ace Hunter.
But I want to say thank you again for you guys joining me tonight. Talk about all this crap that we had so much of. But the thing is, if we don't share information and try to learn new information, then we can't do anything. We can't fix
And
anything if we
we're
don't know
just
what we're
stupid
supposed to fix.
Somalis.
That's right. But the thing is,
I'm okay with getting all the Islamists
all of
out.
us.
We can get rid of all the Islamicists. They're incompatible. We'll do a Venn diagram of Sharia law and the U.S. Constitution, and that shit's not going to touch. It's going to look like a stripper's titties.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be completely just perfect circles far apart. That's all it is.
Circle in a square hole.
Whatever. But I just want to say thank you
Incompatible.
again. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And maybe we'll see you tomorrow, Bruce's stream, or you can join us on Sunday and watch A Girl and Got a Movie. It's fun. We laugh a lot. And you can just stop in and say hello if you don't want to watch the whole thing. That's fine. But thank you guys very much and appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful weekend.
Good night.
Hope you like this outro.
Okay, so I came to Walmart today just to see if this was real. See this? Do you see this big box of like cookie things? These? And it says, product of India. Product of India, right there. I don't think you're ready for this. I don't think you're ready for this.
Puedes ir por las tuyas a tu tienda favorita. Ross, Burlington, Target, Safeway, entre otras.
Okay, so I came to